Can you hear me? Hold up, are you doing a snow? I've got someone texting me. Strangest fucking thing ever. Look, hang on a minute. Let's see if I can cut this out. Right, hang on a minute. I've got a chest. Can you hear me? Right, here we are. Here we are. And just to let you know, right, look. Ray Edmonds, you just want me to see a down some of that, didn't you? So I've stuck a load of stuff out there for everyone to see. Again, I've been busy doing different things today. I will tell everyone. I'll get into the show a little bit. Tonight's just a chill out again. Sorry, no major stuff going on tonight, but I will discuss a few things that I've been talking about with different people, and we'll go from there. Can you all hear me? Okay. Let me have a look. My levels don't seem good. Right, he's texting me. Right. You stop texting me. He said, am I pissed? I had my way, but I looked down every smiling in you. Oh dear. Lucky I never read that one out, wasn't it? Right, you all there? Because I'm in a pub. And we've opened the doors and we want to see who's going out there. 5v5, you can all hear me. 16, no, sound good, right? Hello, everyone. Right, here we go. Right, I'm just going to bring this up. Right, now one of my favourites, I'm not telling you why he's one of my favourites, but you can all guess. Gives me little presents, right, like this every now and again. And it just comes into my pub at the right time, right? So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you. Now, I can either have, if I find a glass. Where's my glass gone? Oh, my glass has gone, Roberta. Hang on a minute. I've got to go and find my glass. Where's my glass gone? Barmaids. Can't get a decent barmaid anywhere, can you? I always putting glasses where they shouldn't go. Right. I ain't got a barmaid. I might even get rid of this. Do you think I should get rid of the bar pumps for now? Should we go for a refurb and I'll pull them out of the way? I'll tell you what it looks like out of the way. It looks like that. Right. So here we go, people. You're all watching this. We're in the boozer. Not sure how many subscribers we got. The subscribers are definitely going up, right? So I'm going to ask you some questions. You can tell me. Shall I have an old crafty hen, vintage, journeyman? I hope you're watching this. You're a bad influence on me, you are. The bishop's finger. That's a smelly one, that is. Sorry. Shepperton Core, this would be naughty. 1698. Have a look at that one. Shepperton name, 1698, Kentish Strong Ale. Let me tell you something. If that's anything like Earleman's, it'll knock you pear-shaped. And there it is, the Black Sheep, the famous Black Sheep, right? As far as I know, that comes from up north, right? Let me have a look and see if I'm right. Born and bred in Masham, Yorkshire, right? So, the quick question is, do you want me to drink a green slime? Or is it a pint or two of these and you'll see me start? I'll have to make sure my whiskies and my scotches are there as well. You ever get one of them times when you think to yourself, I fancy a beer? Listen, it's Friday. Does that bishop's finger smell of fish? If it smells of something, I've got to tell you. Right. So, did we have a vote? Right. Vote green slime or beer. And I am actually, bishop's finger smells of, thank you very much. Got to be a pint. Let's see if Winkle's there yet. English truth teller, Poppy lover, Andy. English, Poppy lover, John Pierce, David Wesley. As an ale drinker, I can recommend all of them. David Wesley, see, I knew there was a reason I liked you. Real ale's lovely. I'm thinking about starting a real ale gaff. You know, you can just go and you don't need a license as such for a real ale small thing, and you can sit there and crack on. No, stick with the pumps. You want me to put the pumps back up? Right, I'll put the pumps back up then. Wisham, you're wearing glasses. Who's wearing glasses? Let's have a look and see. He's there. Right here. Press 1 for green slime. Press 2 for beer. You're all trying to slime me, aren't you? You're trying to slime me. Journeyman. Hello, Tracy. Journeyman. You're getting me in trouble again. Anyway, let's take a decision. I'm like that. I'm good at decisions. Here goes. It's Friday. The green slime's gone out the window. Right? You got to take one day off a week. Right, here we go. This is a publican showing you how to pour a real ale. Right? So there you go. And then I'm going to show you how to neck it. Real ale has got no chemicals in it. Right? And it is absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. Right? All you ladies out there. If you ever wondered. No, I don't know. I ain't going there. Go on. Right. Here we go. Right. Cheers, people. Friday night. And you're in the Trump and Dragon. So we're going to have a beer. Ready? 2, 4, 6. Cheers. Oh, God, that's lovely. Let me see you something, people. That taste, that, what is that one? Binned it, or where is it? What's a knob? That was the 1698 Shepard and Neame, right? You can smell the ale. It's got a strong smell. You know that ale smell? It's got an ale smell to it. God, that's absolutely gorgeous. Right, so a toast to John Hurst. Rest in peace, my friend, and we'll all have a beer for you tonight. And again, condolences to your family. I've been thinking about you all day. The next thing I'm going to say to you is I had a conversation today with Paula. That is little Pippa's mum. I am telling anyone now, and I will send an email to this effect, and to John Harding. I will definitely give you a call and let you know, right? The funeral, Pippa's funeral, is Thursday the 3rd of June, 2021. It's at 12 noon, and all I'll say at the moment is it's in Strood. What I'll do, I don't want to put that out for everyone and every man in this thing. What I'll do is, if you want to attend it, it's in Kent. It's in the Medway towns in Strood. If you want to attend the funeral, and Paula would love a crowd there, you probably won't be able to go to the church, be able to stand outside and drive along and do all the other stuff that you can do. And there's a big wake after. Again, that is Thursday the 3rd of June, 2021, Pippa's funeral. So don't forget, 6-year-old girl, it will be upsetting in some ways, and it won't in others, because I know we all loved her. and no doubt we all want to say prayers for her. So again, the actual funeral is at 12 noon, and then it's to a cemetery at 2 p.m. So there's going to be 12, 2, and then probably on to the wake after that. And I don't know what the detail of that is. All I do know is all of you are cordially invited, I don't know what the word is, to Pippa's funeral. She loves the support you all gave her, and you are all invited to that. So I will put out an email with the exact details so people can go there if they want, and I'm going to do that over the weekend, right? So I'll be sending out an email. If you're not on my email list, go to www.daddydragon.co.uk. Click on, there's a little box in there to say you want to go on the newsletter. It's important you click the box for the newsletter, yes, right? Put your email in there, put your name in there, and then you go on that list. And I'll go on there tonight and tomorrow. I'll download it and everything, and then I'll start sending out the updates about the funeral. But the reason why I can talk about it now is because Paula has told her son, right? Because her son didn't know. And I'm not going to say his name or anything, but the son didn't know. She's now told him. They're now on holiday. The son and the family, they've gone down Cornwall basically, and having a chill out before the funeral, and then she's coming back, and then she's going to sort her life out. But at least now, obviously she's going to spend a lot more time with her son, right? I just had a chat with her tonight and today. And she just said, concentrate on your little boy. And, you know, no one's going to lose sight of Pippa, but concentrate on him because, obviously, 2 years, 3 months has affected him as well. The fact that his sister was really, you know, obviously ill in hospital. So, anyway, we had a really good conversation. She is still upbeat. She's not letting them get her down or anything, or what they've done, etc. So I won't go into any more detail of the actual conversation because it was sort of more private than anything else, which is why it's a bit vague. But all I can tell you is she is really grateful for all of you and for all of the support you gave, for the support of the channel, and obviously every one of you, because you've all assisted in that with your prayers and everything, and I know it meant a lot to everyone. So you are all invited to the funeral. John, I will be sending you the details that I've promised you, trust me, but there's been a lot of things going on in the background. I just don't have time to organise myself and write a list of the things I've got to do for yourself and then for other people, but I will be doing it. That's it. So just to let you know there. So getting back to our wonderful situation of being in the pub. We're in the pub! Right, so we're having a beer. And what we're going to do, so there's a few good things. I've had loads of good conversations with people today. Stephen Todd, I've been on the phone to him a few times today for a few different things. But again, there's still stuff going on with his case. They are causing enormous amounts of problems. I had a really good conversation with Robin. So we do need, I don't know if he's out there, our mucker. We do need some people in the Batley, as Robin keeps telling me. When I called it Bately and Spen, in the end he went, for fuck's sake, Graham, it's Batley! Fucking bats! Just think of bats! Right? And I went, you mean like bats as in coronavirus? And he went, yeah, them type of bats. I said, you mean like cricket bats? He went, yeah, them type of bats. I said, you mean like tennis rackets? He went, tennis. I said, you mean like tennis bats? And he went, you mean rackets? I said, there you go. So it must be Bately. He went, no, it's Batley. So anyway, now I've got the pronunciation right. Right. That's the type of conversation that me and Robin have off the record. I think if you listen to what we come out with, you would be in hysterics. So anyway, anyone out there, we need people in that area, certainly, or even within, I don't know, 3/4 of an hour's drive of that area, to give us a hand, because we're going to have a crack at Batley and Spen, right? And there's some things that we need to do in the build-up of that. And I know you can all assist with that if you're up there. I'm not suggesting all the people in Cornwall, Devon, Northumbria, Newcastle, the depths of anywhere else, including Kent, work to make their way up there. You can if you want. But if there's local people up there and it can help us, it'd be really helpful. And let's go and have a look and see if my old mucker's out there. I bet he is. I'm not going to say your name. I'm just going to see if you're watching. I won't give anything away. Let's have a look and see if he's watching. Yes, he is. See if you can have a chat with your mate. Listen, no pressure on you. And I do mean that. If he says no, he says no. I'm not bothered about that. All I'm saying is if you've got someone who's pretty good up there and they don't know about the opportunity, that's what I'm saying. Even if you get the answer back from him and you've spoken to him, even if it's a negative, that's not a problem. But at least he's been given the opportunity, and there ain't many people who would give an opportunity, especially out of the British mob. Let's have a look and see anyone else is out there. Listen, people, I've got to tell you something. So I will go through the Pippa stuff again a little bit later. I'll go through some. Okay. So I will chat tomorrow. Are you chatting with me tomorrow, or are you chatting with your mate tomorrow? Is the answer. I bet you're going to ping me again, ain't you? You just like pinging me live, don't you? I know what it is. Let's have a look. So hopefully we continue, right? Let me just have another point of this, right? So now the pub's open properly, right? And we're going to have a beer. So you should start seeing me, especially with this gear, lagging whenever a few. Here, Journeyman, I've got to ask you a question. In fact, I'll ask David as well, because you seem to be quite skilled on the Real Ale Lark. Tell me, can you mix this Real Ale, or does it make you ill? So if you was drinking lager and then cider and then Real Ale and then whatever, it's like mixing your drinks, isn't it? So, or can you mix Real Ales and not have a major problem? This stuff is gorgeous, I tell you. That's right. God, that's got a kick on it, you know. Real Ale mixes well. D for your English. Maria. Hey, it's my birthday tomorrow, 28 again. Is it your birthday tomorrow? Just for you, Maria, we're going to do an happy birthday to Maria. Happy birthday to Maria. Happy birthday, dear Maria. Happy birthday to you. This is Friday night, and it is the pub night. So we go. This is the Reverend Simon's idea. I love the way he does the pub, and I've got to be honest with you. I stole the idea from him. Apart from my pub's got a real pub, and my pub's got pumps in front of it. Right, but we won't split hairs, and my pub's called the Trump and Dragon. So there you go. Right, Maria, thanks, Paper. It's lovely singing. Happy birthday, Maria Angram. Yeah, Ray, thank you for wishing Maria a happy birthday. Look at all these. Oh, look. Everyone's wishing you happy birthday. English Patriot, I'm representing America tonight and having a Budweiser. A fucking Budweiser? I had a Budweiser the other night round my mate's house, funny enough. I said, you got another one of them? He went, no, you've drunk the only one in the house. I felt like I took a right liberty. Jules, happy birthday. So we're all singing you happy birthday out there. Right, people. So we're going to have a little chat about a few other things. It does seem there's some other bits and pieces that I'm looking up today. I won't talk too much about cases or the cases, but some other things I've been looking up, and it's really funny. I didn't realise that the UK. Let me drop this thing because I know it's annoying me. Let's see if I can drop it down a bit. Let's drop it down to there. I'll drop it down to there. How's that? Is that better? I just lowered the bar. I just feel like it's sticking me in my face, you know. So I thought I'd lower the bar a bit. I've just lowered the bar, yeah. Quentin, how you doing, son? There's loads of bits and pieces going on at the moment. John Pierce, happy birthday, Maria. Naomi, big smiley laughs, well done. I don't know who's doing what out there. But anyway, just to let you know, there's quite a bit of international law that the UK ratified. In other words, it actually signed up to it, right? So I was having a chat with Robin today, and he went to me. It was probably one of the only compliments I've ever got from him. yeah, not really. He said to me, I do like it that you come out with ideas and you come out with legal ideas that people don't really think of. Because I sent him the stuff that I'd read, and bearing in mind the channel's bought this book, right? And it is a £200 fucking book that's come out of Cambridge University, written by one of these top jollies that knows everything about international fucking law. Right, well, you know what I mean. But all the bits, all the case law, everything that you would need to follow on with something from that, right, is in this book. And there was certain element, apart from the right to work's in there, right? I didn't know that. The right to work, but also your political rights, and I've mentioned to you before about self-determination, and that's in there. But the political rights is linked to the self-determination as well, and it can be taken separately or jointly. If it's taken jointly, it has more powerful, because I think it's Article 1 and Article 25, I think, right? Looking at what it is. And then it gives you the case law on it, and it tells you, and it's all linked to constitutional law, right? So Rodman was like, no, that is interesting. He said, but they don't have to take any notice of that. That's just advisory. I said, no, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights was advisory. Yeah, that was advisory. You don't have to sign up to that. But they split it. And I didn't know this. They split it into the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the United Nations Civil Rights and Political Rights, right? Which there's two lots of human rights laws, which I didn't know, right? And they split it, but it's the civil and political stuff that the UK has signed up to and ratified in 1976. Like, proper signed up. The latest stuff came out just 5 or 10 years ago. And the United Nations has actually got an office, and the UK authorities now have to report on them, on their progress on implementing what they've signed up to in 1976. Did you know that? And then I'm sitting there thinking, so why the fuck haven't we used it? There's loads in there about the oppression of and suppression of political parties. So I've said to Robin, there's loads of stuff in there about that. That they shouldn't be doing what they're doing to the English Democrats. He's like, oh, okay. He said, well, so what I'm going to do now in the background is go through it, not in massive detail, but go through these different elements, find the different cases, and then work out, in all cases where they've oppressed us, which they have done, right? So they generally don't let us on the TV because they say you're a small party, we're not going to do that. Well, in this particular rights thing, they say you're not allowed to do that. Because they're never going to become a bigger party if they can't communicate with the people, right? So all of that is in this international law book. I thought to myself, this is fantastic, right? So you're the people who have helped me be educated on that. I never, ever would have thought there was that much stuff in there. So without getting too heavy, because it's Friday night, we won't be talking about law all night, but we will be having one of them interesting conversations. I'm hoping Mr. David is out there. I won't say anything else, but Mr. David, you've been texting me, and I thought you was drunk. If you're out there, say hello. Let's see who else is out there. Well, here, England till I die. If you go on holiday now, you'll probably get back and find your house full of economic migrants. You're probably right, to be honest. Bonnie Bank, what, you want phone calls? What, you want to ring me? Ain't you had enough of listening to me all week? You want to actually fit... I'd have to put my hearing aids in, and we're going to do that. Where's my hearing aids? Let me have a find my hearing aids. Let's go for me disability. Here we go. I might do. You can't ring in yet, by the way. You cannot ring in yet. I can hear again. I'll tell you what. I've got to sort my eyes out, because when I take my glasses off now, that's all blurry. I can't even read the screen without squinting. God, blimey, who's that? Right. Let's have a look and see what else we're doing here. Chris Ormsby, can I have a very large vodka and coke, please? You want a large vodka and coke? You certainly can. Let me click on that picture. Is that little blondie? Let's have a look what she looks like. She's probably married anyway. I put out a call today. I had a lovely young lady ring me today. Who's had a right result, by the way. They've cancelled all her £10,000 fines. So she rang me up to tell me about that. I said, that's all right. She said, thanks for all your help. I said, that's all right. We was talking about some other bits and pieces. And I said, don't forget, if you've got any gorgeous mates, divorcees, yeah, getting a bit bored, send them my way. And she went, I'm going out with one tomorrow. I said, all good. So there you go. Hopefully I'll get a few of them triggering. Naomi, UK are going to legislate to force big tech construct an internet firewall prevent people from harmful contact, very similar to the firewall in communist China. Yeah, I know. They're isolating us. That's what socialists do, Naomi. They will isolate, and then you're in trouble because you can't get what you need to get out. And they're going to literally take control of this country. Well, they already have. And no one's fighting back. And I had this conversation with someone earlier. Robin's court case is they've put in appeal again. But it's really difficult to get past anyone. English truth teller, you're very confused about the Israel situation. What are you confused about? Tell me what you're in why are you confused? Militia 1688. Anyone going to march for Freedom March? Freedom March tomorrow, 29th Dover demo. Why? What's tomorrow? Oh yeah. Well done, another win. It was because of what we've been trying to do in the background with that particular person. So they've scrapped all that information. And again, there were some other bits and pieces as well, which I won't go into. But I had loads of people contacting me and emailing me reference to cancer that we was talking about last night. And again, I will be putting a lot of that stuff up, and I haven't done it today, but I will be doing it. A link to Steve Todd's gym. I will be putting a link to the healthy drink that you should be having every day. Again, I had a conversation with someone else today. Reference Chris Thrall, I think his name is, who's the bootneck. He's got a channel, and he was was a Royal Marine, and he's got his own channel. And he was saying to me, he talks about what you was talking about alkalising your blood, and it combats cancer. And it does, and it's just one of the things that does that. But there's plenty of other things that you would want to do it for. So just to let you know that other people are talking about it. Let me have a look. Have you all liked and shared? Yeah, don't forget to like and share and get this out there. Because everyone wants to come along to the pub on a Friday, right? Because you can have a beer with me and us. We can all toast England. And that is what we're toasting, is England. Hold on. I'll just see a comment there. Tracy Turner, hello, darling. Poppy lover. And marching to the booze. And who's marching to the BBC? Someone's going to have to ring me up and tell me all this. Alice Hunter just had a glass of Steve's health drink. Oh, have you indeed? Well, you stay on the health drink and I'll stay on the real ale. Only for tonight. So once a week, on a Friday night, I'm going to have a pint. 285 people at a pub is a lot of people. Let me tell you something. If I had a proper boozer, like a real ale house, and I'd have to work out how you would do shorts and all that. I'm sure there's someone out there that can educate me on it. I'll tell you what, I think we'd get a right good crack going. And we'd have a real house. Freedom March tomorrow and people marching to the BBC. Joe McGruff. Any news on India? Hamas is a terrorist organisation and should be banned throughout England. I agree. Danny Clark, did you watch the Aaron Clapton? No, I haven't watched that. I did see it and I ain't had time to watch it. Why? What was that about? Tracy, Maria, you got a spanner. About time. Lorraine Danville, it's hard work running a pub. Don't give it all that. Don't give it all that hard work running a pub. I wouldn't go to a pub right now. They want your name and contact then, not in my pub. Have I asked you for your name and contact details once? No. Have I asked you to wear one of them stupid screens in front of your face? No. Have I asked you to wear a mask once? No. Can you smoke in my pub? Of course you can. Even if the governor gives up, yeah. Listen, this is a proper boozer. This is how the pub should be. Where you come in and you can have a chat. And you can say what you like, within reason. Don't insult the barmaids. And try not to insult the governor. Right, here we go. Let's have a look, see anything else is on there. Right, it's been away. My spanner, Tracy, my spanner has been taken away. Oh, shut up, Tracy. You're such a fucking... I don't know. Hey? Don't see you for years and then you just pop up like one of them ladies that, you know, you love to see. Oh, I've been a barmaid. Loved it. Have you been a barmaid? Oh, how do I guess that? Tell him you haven't got a smartphone, so you have to write down your details and then give them a name as Twat Hancock. The last time I wrote my name and address on a pub thing, I wrote bollocks and more bollocks, and then I put 999 telephone number, and that was it. And they didn't even look at the book. They must have looked through it like, oh, God, oh, for fuck's sake. Well, it's funny though. Years. Let's have a look. Automatically held for review. Even Molly rising. I don't know why that's been dismissed. Susan Garbutt, DD, you have 303 customers waiting for a drink. All right. So I'm asking you once again, would you want for a beer? Hold up. Now, if I start getting gas, and you do know what I'm talking about, and it accidentally creaks out in front of this mic, you're going to have to excuse me, right? Here we go, right? Last drop of this one. Right, let me just tell you. That was the dog's bollocks. No, that's wine. That was called, it was Shepherd and Name, 1698, real well. Now, see, I have a milkman comes round and delivers this to me. It's not a milkman, it's a real owl man, right? And he delivers it in person. His name's Journeyman. He's out there at the moment, right? Black Sheep. I won't go for that one just yet. Old Crafty Hen. I like that one. Bishop's Finger. Kentish Strong Ale. So I think we'll go for another one. Is that another one? It's another Shepherd's Name one, right? So by the time this show ends, you should see me fall off my stool, right? There it is. Bishop's Finger. No, 276. I know what you do for a living, son. There's none of your comments on this show. Thank you. There it is. Shepherd's Name, Bishop's Finger, 5.4%. Kentish Strong Ale. Here we go. You're waiting for me to fall off my chair, aren't you? Oh, here we go. Watch this. Here we go. And again. And again. Mr. Trump, President Trump. England salutes you, my friend. Here we go. Look at this. Look at this. This is how you pour a pint. Oh, dear. Look at that. Now, normally you should be pulling this. It should be on draft. Getting a bit of a head there. Shouldn't get the head down. Take the head down. Take the head down. It's just a touch. I'm going to keep pouring anyway just to see if it gets there. And it does. And we are there. Bishop's Finger. Crack on. Right. Now. I suppose you want to see me down this and all, don't you? Look at that one. That's a bit darker, that one. Can you see it? What do you think of that, President Trump? You like that one? President Trump, when next time you come to England, don't forget to look me up. And don't forget to look up my pub, the Trump and Dragon. It's the real ale house. And you've got all these people out here waiting to see you. That's nice and all. Definitely getting a bit twangy. Oh, wow. Right. So, cheers, DD. Right, so thank you, everybody, for steaming on the board and steaming into that one. Pop and Peace, they're all mechanics. Poured like a pro. Thank you very much. One over here, bud. Well, you want a bud, dear son? Victoria, evening. Let's have a look at that. Links. A friend had a vaccine, died of blood clot. Another friend had a stroke. Next day after jab, doctor said it was down to the jab. Well, I'd like to know. I don't think I don't think that John Hurst would have had the jabs, but if he did, it'd be very interesting to know. Tracy Turner, mine's a Sav Blanche, please. Someone's going to have to bail me out of that one. What the fuck's a Sav Blanche? Yes, whatever DD is having seems like fun last week. Yes, it is. It is. And we're having some of this. Right, people. I don't know whether this is even going to work. And I'll tell you for why. Because I've had quite a serious problem recently. No, not like that. Let's have a look. We're going to see if we can open up. Let's have a look. Skype. Don't ring yet, because it ain't on. Somehow, because I have to go into the settings. Count, profiles, general, audio and video, close background, don't want a camera, webcam, don't want that, microphone, Rode, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they should be able to hear me, speakers, Realtek audio, test audio, there you go, that looks like it's working. Right, here we go. I don't know if I want to do this. I ain't done one for such a long time. Let me have a look and see if I can go to it. Here we go. Phone numbers are on the screen now. Why's my screen gone funny? Hold up. Here. My channel's frozen. I don't know why it would do that. Let me have a think. Hello.
Blimey, that was quick. Hi, Daddy. It's Quentin.
Quentin, how you doing, son?
I'm all right. Yeah.
Good.
I need to turn the volume down.
Yeah, in the background, because otherwise you'll get that. For some reason, the screen's frozen on the channel, and I don't know why, but I'm hoping they can actually hear us. I think they can.
I can see you frozen. I've got lots to tell you, actually. My wife is, I've said to you before tonight.
Yeah.
She's had a stroke now. Her mum died.
Oh.
And she was 90, although she was spot on in her brain and everything. She did the crosswords and everything. She was really switched on.
Yeah.
And she loves sport. So Heather's mum died, and first time out for Heather was to her funeral for well over a year.
Oh, right.
So that's her day out. Prisoners get more rights than people in care homes.
Listen, Quentin, I don't disagree with you at all. One of the things that Paula said, and we brought it up with the judge, was that Pippa and Paula were prisoners at that hospital.
Exactly.
And he said you're not prisoners, and we almost launched an immediate habeas corpus.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand what you're saying there. In fact, Paula references it as a medical kidnap.
Yeah.
So you're not on your own with thinking like that. So when your wife come out,
yeah,
obviously she's with you obviously as well. But I mean, is she in any condition? Can she talk, or was she just there in presence, or?
She can. She's got aphasia, which means she says one word, and the word is different. says everything different.
All right.
But she recognises people, and she recognises me and family and everything.
Oh.
So it's a bit like tuning into a Russian radio station when you don't understand what they're saying, but when you're with them, you kind of do, because the facial expressions and the mimes that she does, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, she her first outing was her mum's funeral.
So what's going to happen now, though? I know they're allowing. I mean, are you going to be asking to bring her home, or are you going to be asking to do to what's your plans on trying to move it forward?
Well, she has won a court case, so that's a good. If anything comes out of this, is a good news. But
yeah.
She's won a court case, and the NHS were negligent.
Okay.
Negligent. So I've got to find a place that can accommodate her. You know, where I'm living now, it's got little steps and whatever. It's not wheelchair friendly.
Yeah.
So it's got to be bigger access, wider doors, and you know all the things that.
For disability, it's got to be converted for disability. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and whether I get somewhere that has to be purposely built for it, I don't know. All these things I've got to look into.
Yeah.
So yeah, So I've had a lot to deal with that, and I'm an executor for my mother-in-law's will, so it's awful. And she had a jab.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So
she had two jabs. Heather's mum had two jabs.
Yeah.
So, and she had a blood clot. So that prolonged it. I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's not. I mean, again, I'm hearing lots about that, and now even Johnson and Johnson. I've been led to believe in Brazil they've banned the Johnson and Johnson vaccines.
Yeah. And Johnson & Johnson, he was our ambassador, wasn't he? Woody Johnson.
Yeah.
Just shows you that.
Yeah, no, I agree. He was. He's the one that we
that's
appealed to.
Wrote letter to.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, sorry to keep your airtime. This thing in America, the Arizona audit.
Yeah.
And I know you say to look here, to look there. It looks like Biden has created this war in Israel.
Yeah.
For you to take your focus off the Arizona audit.
Yeah.
And he's given Hamas 200 million or whatever it is to bomb Israel. So
yeah, they're trying to they're trying to start a war, whatever happens, and you can see that. But remember, and then you've also got to remember who it is that's supplying the weapons to Hamas, and that is Iran, and it could even be via the back door, or even China assisting with that. We don't know the exact what's going on, but it certainly looks that way. Yeah, but I agree that there's stuff going on, and it's not only that. There's been a number of shootings out in America.
Yeah,
they've started to go on the increase. You can see the playbook reinitiated now that President Trump's out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I mean,
I found that to people today, who haven't got a clue what's going on. I'd say you have to realise in America the focus is on the election, and Biden is causing this war to distract you.
yeah.
It's all a distraction.
Everything's geared as a distraction.
Of course it is, yeah.
And you know, even the things that are going on here at the moment, there's things that are built in to distract people all the time. But I mean, hopefully, in some ways, people are learning what it is. I mean, someone earlier on the show said that they're now building in this firewall to keep people, from outside coming in to the internet for the UK. Well, that's a two-way thing. What they're trying to do is stop you communicating with the outside world.
Yeah.
And again, people don't realise what it is and how they're doing it. We've already lost control of the court system. You're seeing that with Robin's cases, with other cases that are going forward. But I think eventually, and I'm hoping it's sooner rather than later, that people absolutely understand who's doing this. And the British are globalists.
Of course they are.
And people need to understand, and especially, I mean, what we see last week with the veterans ride out and the different things, and I'm still seeing people waving the British flag, and they're just not getting it. They're actually, cheering on their enemy, and it's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. When you understand it, and you understand it, I understand it, and the people watching this show understand it, it's very difficult to try and talk to people that are completely, they don't get the propaganda. They don't get the propaganda in the news. And I was talking to someone the other day, and it wasn't just about the news. I said, I don't watch any TV at all. And I said, and we was having a conversation about it, and he agreed, by the way. And what I said to him was, you've got to understand that even Coronation Street and what's the other one? Emmerdale Farm and
all of them, yeah.
Yeah, all of the soaps. Yeah. They're actually propaganda that are subliminally training your brain to think a certain way.
Yeah.
And people just don't. They sit in front of it and they don't even realise that they are being brainwashed.
Yeah.
That's the sadness of it. I mean, do you remember the Emmerdale Farm of 40 years ago? The real Emmerdale Farm.
And it was called Emmerdale Farm.
Yeah. So when you had Emmerdale Farm and you had, Joe Sugden, you had Sam, didn't you? You had Grandad, and you had a proper fam and a farm mum and going out and milking the cows and doing all this stuff. That's completely changed. The whole thing is now about programming people's minds.
Yeah. The whole thing is, I don't watch TV now.
No, nor do I.
Done for a while.
Well, I don't even read the paper. The only paper I read now is the Epoch Times.
Yeah, I don't. In fact, I've got a copy from the English Democrats paper the other day.
Mm.
I think I sent Brett a thing saying that Robin's put on the post Great Britain. I thought, no,
Was it?
England, not Great Britain.
What post was that?
In my paper that came to me.
Oh, right. No, well, that I'll be honest with you, little things like that tend to annoy me, but like I say, it is a bit difficult.
Mm.
For some reason, my camera is seized. I don't know what it is. But
you're still frozen on my screen for some reason.
Yeah, it's frozen on the screen, but it looks like everyone can hear. Can I ask for a 5x5 from the chat, and then I will try and work out what it is? Let me see if there's a 5v5 coming in. Well, I'm going to click a little box here, and I'm hoping it ain't going to cut you off, but I'm going to see if this unfreezes it. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still there.
Right, let's see what this... why ain't that working? That is really weird. Let me see if I can put the output. Virtual camera out. Start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's still working.
Yeah, still hear you. Still see the chat.
I wonder why that ain't working then. Let's see if this one's working. None of them are working. Oh well. Okay, well, they're still hearing it, so...
That's it, yeah. Still keep the message going.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, I mean, obviously, we all want to see the best for you and is it Heather?
Heather, yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully, things sort of turn out and start improving.
Thank you very much, Daddy, and all the people in the chat.
Yeah, no, we're all with you anyway. You know that, and we are now. This bullshit has started to subside slightly. I believe going to be attending an event near you. So when we sorted all that out, we're going to let you know where it is, and come along to us.
Yeah, no, I marched on St George's Day, my St George's flag on the Hastings seafront.
Oh, did you?
Down on my own, and I was amazed because it's Hastings is more of a working class.
Yeah.
People were clapping, people were beating the horns and giving me thumbs up. And I went to Eastbourne, did the same thing, walked along on the same day, and people are sort of, oh dear. Oh.
Yeah, no.
And my own hometown, Bexhill, there's hardly anyone out there, to be honest. But yeah.
So Hastings was the place that you got more of a...
Yeah. I wanted it to be the new Battle of Hastings, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I was talking... people were so ignorant, didn't understand what even the day was, flying the flag, even.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I was just telling them, goodness.
Well, I think people are getting it anyway.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely they're getting it.
Slowly but surely, yeah.
We'll get there in the end.
People in Hastings definitely got it.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, thanks for calling in, and I'm going to try and resolve this camera problem and work out what it is. Reset your camera. Mine locks up if my phone gets too close. I don't know what this is, why it is. It's nothing to do with the phone, but I will try and do that. Right, hang on a minute. Okay, well, thanks for calling in, Quentin. Don't forget, God bless you, and we're all with you, and we're all thinking about you.
And God bless everyone here, and God bless England, and God bless people in the chat.
No worries. Be lucky.
Okay. Bye now.
Bye. Right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I am going to... Get off! Hang on! I'm trying to sort this out first. Let's see if that's... Quit Skype. I'm trying to get my camera to work again. And I've got no reason to believe that it's gone pear-shaped. And I can't see why it would go pear-shaped. Let's turn the camera off. And turn it back on again. Why would it do that? Let's turn them all off. Right, let's turn that off. Right. My actual camera is working. Right, for some reason, it's the whole of... why would that scream up? Right, let's try and do something else first, and then I'll come back to the pictures. Hang on a minute. Let's have a look. What's a pain in the arse? Let's get that back up there. Let's get that in there. Let's get that in there. Why the one that's doing it? I ain't got a clue why it's doing it. Reset your camera. Mine locks up. Yeah, no, I've reset the camera, but the camera, it seems to be the actual software. See, it's like you're getting the audio, for some reason, it's locked up because I started, I wonder if I could do it that way. Hang on a minute, let me try something. I'm going to try something that I haven't tried. Hang on a minute. Which one of my things would it be? Would it be that one or is it that one? Let's try and turn that one off. Let's try and turn that one off. Right, so it's that one, right? Let's turn that one back on and then put that one in there. No, it's not that one. It's that one. Right, let me try something. Let me try. If you're all listening, I'm going to try and do this while I'm online. Digital interface, cam link, microphone, system, audio capture. What's the video capture? Ain't none of them. Let's see if I can find one of them. I ain't got a clue what it is. Well, the only thing I can do to get my camera working, or hang on a minute, it's coming back with something different now. Let's try and put that one back on there. USA to Texas. So you are getting the image because I've just seen the image change. So you are getting the image changing. For some reason, it's the camera link itself is not working. So let me try something else. I don't know if this is going to work, but we'll try it, right? Right. Well, that's come back in again. This is on gone pear-shaped over here. Hang on, let's get that back over there, right? And let me go back into, so I'm going to go back into my Skype, open my Skype back up again, and see if this works. I can always try another, no, I won't be able to do that. Hang on a minute. Where's my Skype gone? There it is. My Skype's starting up again. Right, now you've got that on there. 254 watching. It stopped in writing on camera on showing. It could be something to do with it. No, I'll tell you what it is. I can tell you exactly what it is. I went into my settings, yeah, and the settings has got my camera on it. What I really want to do is take my camera settings off. So what I'm going to do is go into audio and Vizio, camera, hang on. Hello.
Hello, sir. Hi. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm very well, thank you. Who's this?
Well, you sound very relaxed. You're controlling the show, and I'm just coming in to have a quick chat with you, if you don't mind. Are you live on air?
I am.
I just want to run something past you, just to see what you think, and the viewers and the people that are listening, to try and get their opinion, if they can send some messages back to you on 5B5, because there's a whole group of people out there that I want to try and tap into and try and uncover over this phone call that are in England, that are here on our land, that we don't hear much about. And there's thousands of them. In the northeast, there's 329, Durham, 104, Middlesbrough, 45, Redcar, 34, Stockton on Tees, 54, Gateshead, 28, Northwest, 661, Blackpool, 52, Bolton, 52, Bury, 25, Cheshire, 17, Cumbria, 30, Horton 74, Lancashire 74, Liverpool 22, Manchester 70. The list goes right the way down. I'm not going to sit and go through a lot of them. But the end figure is 8,350. Can you guess what I'm talking about?
English Democrats.
No.
Don't know.
That's the caravan capacity of the Gypsy Traveller and the Show People caravan sites that are currently in England that have got the capacity to hold on their sites a combined value of 8,350 caravans in England. So my question tonight to all the people listening on your show, are them people with us, the English, they're on our land, they come over to this part of the world, or they're naturally from this part of the world from many years ago, they're historically brought up through the land, and they're with us 100%, or are they not with us? Because we could do with 8,300 and however many caravans on our side going forward in the future. That's it.
Well, I've got to be honest with you. The most of the travellers that I know regard themselves as English,
Right.
and most of the travellers I know also know quite a bit about common law and especially property rights and land rights, and they rely on their ancient rights to go onto land and to build certain things and build their community. So my answer is they will probably more likely be with us, but whether anyone's ever asked them or not is another question.
Well, not necessarily us asking them. Why haven't they volunteered to come over and ask you and say, look, guys, we're in the country. We've been here a long time. There's a lot of us, you know. We do our thing. We mind our own business. We look after ourselves. But we are nevertheless living on English soil. So every travelling man that's listening tonight and every English person that's listening tonight, we've got a decision to make, because here we have a rather large group of people that aren't wanting to ask us if we want to be with them, and we're not asking them if they want to be with us. So there's just an interesting thing in my mind that makes me think, well, there's a lot of people there. There's a lot of caravans, there's a lot of workers, a lot of tradesmen, a lot of plumbers, builders, grafters, travelling people, travelling folk. Would they be wanting to cross swords with us, the English, going forward in the future? Because you've got 45,000 people in Essex recently to come over to you for the English Democrats. That's only Essex. No one's talking about how many people you've got in Manchester. No one's talking about how many come over from Newcastle and Birmingham and all the other parts of the country that love the English Democrats. I'm feeling...
Oh, fucking hell. I've hit the wrong button. Hang on. Hello, you still there?
We got cut off.
Yeah, sorry. I hit the wrong button and it was the wrong button. I'm playing with these fucking settings trying to get this screen to work. And
Have you been on them Bishop's fingers or what?
Oh, I have indeed. So let me ask you a question. Was you at the Bedfordshire count or not?
Yes.
Right. And what did you think of it? Did you think there was skullduggery going on?
I've been round skullduggery for 25 years, and I've been, without going into detail, the reaction from the people and the vibration, the frequency in there talking to me over an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. Of course there was skullduggery.
Yeah.
Of course there was. They didn't like me in there. Just mopping around, shining a light.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I felt like I was this individual that was not part of their crew.
Yeah.
So doing this, so doing that. They had 2 or 3 black geese on the door with big dreadlocks, like the heavy geese at the door. Not bothered about all them, but nevertheless, they made sure that they surrounded themselves with heavy people.
Yeah.
And it's a bit like the British, isn't it? What they do, they get other people to go out and do their fucking dirty work for them.
Yeah.
So I see a bit of that, and I thought, well, you know. But over the 3 or 4, 5, 6 hours, I was very kind, very calm, very relaxed. Put my shirt on, put a tie on. Was very nice and calm and listening to the scenario. But there was skullduggery because the reactions of the people towards me was very nervous, very jittery. There was no purity, no.
Yeah, I know.
We talked about 153 polling stations where all the votes are collected by private people in private cars. They get delivered at night time, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, and get driven from polling stations all across the counties to the council by private people that the council know.
Yeah.
I said, well, hang on a minute. How do you know? And I've got to be careful what I say, because how would you know that those boxes don't sort of stop off somewhere en route at Marjorie's house, unbutton the lid, put a 50 or 500 or 1,000 votes in, button it back up, get back in the car and drive off to the council? How do you know that they don't sort of have a little manoeuvre en route? It seems to be a very nice setup, very cushy setup.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I've been at Cants and I've seen, you know, what goes on, and it's never just it's not just been about us. Before it was with UKIP, and I've been at places where people have actually seen votes be put in someone's pocket, literally big bundles of them. So it's not something that don't happen, and again, you've got to be very careful with Lenin and the Trotsky mob, because what they say is it's not the voters that count, it's who counts the votes that counts. So you have to be very careful of that.
You're right, and the process itself, right? The whole setup. They get a tent, they get all the people to sit in there in the day. I went up there a day beforehand, and I went and met one of the people that run the place. I won't say his name, but we sat down for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and he fucking fell asleep whilst talking to me, because I was going through every intricacy of the voting process like a virgin person who's never known anything about the voting process before. But in my mind, what I'm doing is just bugging him for information. And he actually fell asleep because I was wanting to find out so much about how all of these fat people in the counties vote. He said, well, 19,000 people put the postal vote in, but the majority of the other votes come in from the polling stations. And I said, well, how do those polling votes get sent to the council? He said, well, at 10 o'clock at night or at 10:30 at night, all of the votes are put into a box. I said, oh, right. What sort of box? He said, well, a plastic tub. He said, it's very secure. I said, oh, how secure is it? He said, well, we put these little grommets in the top of the box, and these grommets seal the box. They're then put into a vehicle, and it's driven by a private individual who the council has got a history of knowing. So they're very established people. It's not just any old Tom, Dick or Harry.
Yeah.
It's someone that the council knows.
Yeah.
And they've got a relationship with. And that person then takes the votes in the tub with the grommets in and drives it through the county, 11 o'clock at night, going through the roads, 10 miles, 20 miles, 30 miles, depending on how far the voting station is from the actual council, and they drive across the county. Fuck me, 20 miles, 30 miles later, they arrive at the council. Who knows what happens on
What
route?
happens to him? Well,
And
that.
for me, it's a simple scam. It's fucking easy. I could do it.
Yeah. Well, that's what happened. Not that I particularly like him, but it's not the point. That's what happened to Nigel Farage, wasn't it? Because all them there was loads of ballot boxes that went missing for hours, not just a little while. It was like 18 hours or 24 hours. These ballots went missing for, and then they finally turned up. Ballot boxes went completely missing. That was in Folkestone. When Farage was trying to be elected as an MP.
I'll just say to the travellers, I'll just say tonight, if you want to come on board with us, like the English, if you want to cross swords with us, we'd very much like you to be open with us and be clear and truthful 100% all the way, because I think the future it's coming down to a place now where honesty and integrity. I mean, there's a lot of people that the British government give out grants to people, and they give out concessions, and they give out money, and they give out all sorts of little sweeteners to make people feel fantastic and to put them on their side. And maybe the travellers have benefited from a lot of those grants. I'm just saying how it is because I've looked at these green deals, and a lot of the green deals benefit all kinds of different areas, and people make money from it. So that might be a way of keeping everyone sweet. The British government says, well, look, we'll make sure that travellers get looked after in this department and that department and this department and that department. Fuck, they're looking after them so much. But in the greater scheme of it, if it's just done as a sweetener, it doesn't mean that they're truly on their side. They're only giving them a bit of money to say, look, keep them happy, and keep the English happy, and keep the travellers happy, and keep the blacks happy. What they're doing is keeping everybody happy just by giving them money. But there's a much bigger picture that's forming here, and there has to come a point when the leaders of the travellers, the leaders of the English, the leaders of the blacks, the leaders of the people that are on this island realise that the other people that run the country, the British, are sort of pocketing us all off they're compartmentalising us all off in a certain way, in a certain place. They're not ever giving us anything that's near to ownership. They're only giving us crumbs from the rich man's table, if you like.
Yeah, no, I agree entirely.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does make complete sense, and that's the bit that people are not getting. That in the way that we used to run this country, meaning England, was local people. I mean, you didn't even have, originally you didn't even have a party system. You know, it was individuals from the local communities that stood in Parliament for you, not in relation to parties and all that. And the party system is part of the control. And as soon as people realise that, you know, Labour, Lib Dem, and the Tories are all part of that control mechanism, and the only way you're going to shunt it is if you get a group of people who say, no, look, we don't want politicians, or we don't want people particularly in political parties as such. We want a nationalist people that stand for their county or their constituency and come into Parliament. And all you're doing is getting a badge of England by standing for the English Democrats.
So if I went up to that place I went up to, and I went up there a day before, I had conversations with the guys that run it before it all started, and I looked at the hall and he told me about the specifics and stuff. If I went up there and spoke to him and done that the day before, and then witnessed what happened in the actual day, and sniffed all sorts of rats and problems, if I can do that in a day and smell the process, 2 days later the Queen introduced that the voting system in Britain was going to be done by fingerprints and cameras. I wonder if some of the things that I said to some of the people up there, because I was very vocal, only with the people that were behind the line. And I met a few people there. I emailed you about a guy that needed your help as well in another area. He was a private candidate, but he got more votes than what the whole Liberal Democrat Party did.
Yeah.
I thought, hang on, he's just an independent. But because I spoke to him and listened to him, and he was a nice guy. And I realised why the people from the county liked him, because he's a decent fella.
Yeah.
And I thought, hang on, why doesn't that guy cross swords with us?
Yeah, no, I agree.
So, my thing is, the travellers, with us. The blacks, with us. The independents, with us. The English Democrats, with us. Once we start pulling in all these huge groups of people, and we all put our differences to one side, the British become a minority.
Exactly that. And you get it, and it is just pushing that out there. And I'll give you a good example of what happened. In exactly what you're saying. Recently, a constitutional argument was put to the Scottish courts, and it was from the Christians in this country that were all different Christians. In other words, all different denominations of Christianity, but they all come together to challenge the Scottish government on shutting down churches in Scotland. and the judge give an instruction and give a judgment in favour of the Constitution, and he said it is unconstitutional for the government to shut the churches. Well, but my point to people was they were all different, but all come together for one reason. That it was about, for them it was about prayer, and for them it was about congregations, and it was about churches. But they used the Constitution as one group of people and said, this is unconstitutional and it's in the Constitution that the government can't do it. And the judge agreed. So, again, if you get the same situation in England where all the disparate people come together and stand under one flag, which is England. And I'll say to people, I don't care what colour you are, don't care what creed you are. If you are a traveller, you're English. Yeah, you get Scottish travellers, you get English travellers, whatever. Just come together as English and fight them in our way to push it forward, and it'll work. But it's getting that message out there.
Do you know what? I've got to tell you. There's a lot of things I like about black people. There's a lot of things I like about the travelling people. There's a lot of fucking things that I love about my own English people, right?
Yeah.
I've got in me a bit of blood from Ireland. I've got in me a bit of blood from Scotland. I've got a bit of blood from Germany, and I've got a bit of blood from Italy. Now, I've said that over your airwaves. Some people might realise who I am at that point. I don't care now. I'd like to cross swords to benefit the English people and to benefit the English system. I'd like to cross swords with the travellers, all of them. They're fucking powerful. They're fucking horses, and all their girls going on the horses in the river, going up at Appleby. I love all that.
Yeah, no, I've seen that as well.
I really do. And
Yeah.
it's being taken away from them. They're having their life, and they know it. They're talking to each other. They're going to the fairs and thinking, and all right, you've got English people that sit in their houses and grow a bit of a stiff upper lip and go, oh, those travellers down the way riding motocross bikes down the pathway and nicking things at me. All right, there's been a lot of bad stories where that police officer got caught up in so-and-so in the trap. There's trouble everywhere. But if the heads of the units send a message down to their folk, it ain't fucking happening no more. And if the heads of the black units sent a message down to their crews, and if the heads of all these different operations said, look, we're joining forces with the English, we're going to fucking do it, because otherwise we're going to be taken over by a group of people that do not have our interests at heart at all. They don't care about our history. They don't care about our horses in Appleby. They don't care about the Africans that get together and have a party in certain places and like to be free and listen to fucking nice music. So there has to be a point at where we all come together, because if we don't come together, we allow the other lot just to go, you know what? They're laughing at us by saying they're so disenfranchised, they're so disjointed. Look, you've got millions of them that live in England and they can't even fucking get together. They're laughing at us because we can't show unity.
Yeah.
And that to me makes me think, well, shouldn't we demonstrate that we can?
No, like I say, I don't disagree. And let me just say this as well. For those listening, Paula, when she was in hospital, met a number of people that were travellers, because some of the travellers, a couple of families had their children seriously ill in there, and they really supported her, and she really supported them. She's got a lot of she has got a lot of time for travellers. They were the only people.
They fucking get to know them. They're all right.
They was the only people that stood up to the hospital. And when the hospital started getting funny about who could come in and all that, they literally got on the phone and there was like 30 of them walked in the hospital, and they said, "What are you saying about who can't come in and who can come in?"
They are.
And straight away the hospital was like, no, you're fine, and you know, yeah, we respect your community, respect this and all that, and they backed down straight away. Whereas they if you like, had a pop at Paula in different ways, and then the Travellers stuck up for her, and in other ways, she stuck up for the Travellers in the hospital. So, again, it's not as if you can't come together, you can. And in them situations, and where there was a child involved, you know, everyone said, no, hang on. I mean, one of the stories she said to me was that the Traveller family come in really late one night, only because they'd been working or whatever, and they come in there, and they started to eat Paula's food out of the fridge, right? And then one of them said something, that's not our food, that's her food. And she said, I don't care who's... Paula went, listen, if you're hungry, you can eat my food. It's not a problem. Replace it tomorrow or whatever, you know. You've come in and... So she just treated them with respect, and they treated her with respect. And that's the difference. So I totally agree with you. And again, I mean, she's pretty vocal about them because she see how they worked, and she said that's how we should be. You know, as a big community coming together.
So you don't really, as a big community coming together. Okay, now there's a thing here because they run their communities privately, and whatever discussions or disputes that they have is dealt with privately.
Yeah.
We don't get to know about it. The police will. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But I think the majority of the time, the police are told to fuck off
Yeah.
by the Travellers.
Yeah.
And the police sort of say to themselves, well, you know what? Fuck it, let's move on.
Yeah, they don't need the egg.
I wonder if there's a little bit to be learned from us, by us, from them, and equally from them, from us, because they see us as dwellers, house dwellers.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
There's a funny old thing going on where, because they live on site and they've all got their own people with them, and because we live in houses and we've got to go to school and it's all very refined and it's very, there's a difference. We're different. But the thing I get to is deep down, as people, it's such a shame that we're not crossing swordsmen, because fuck me, they're a powerful mob.
Yeah, they are.
And they got a heart in the right place.
Yeah.
And when the English people meet up with people that have got their heart in the right place and realise, fucking hell, you ain't so bad after all. You look at the media and think, hang on, the media's tried to... Okay, you've done some bad things out there, and the media's blown it up out of all proportion, and we've all negatively said, oh, fucking hell, them Travellers are this, but it's only a few youngsters that are out there doing stuff. I don't know. There's a thing with me, and I'm trying not to make it sound like, oh, it's okay to have a few people go out and cause trouble, but youngsters will be youngsters. But they've got a way of making sure that they get either dealt with or punished, and they do it internally. It's all done their own way.
Yeah.
And I just wonder if there's going to be a time, Mr. Moore, when the Sikhs, the Pakistanis, the majority of them, the ones, you know, not the ones that are working with the insolvency practitioners to destroy English businesses, and the ones that are working with banks, and the ones that are working with finance houses, and the ones that are, you know, the Pakistanis are very clever
Yeah.
at destroying family businesses, because these guys work within these establishments and law firms to destroy our businesses through the courts, through the British courts, because they've got their mates working in the courts, the Royal Courts of Justice, man at the solicitor's office, and man at the insolvency practitioners will have another one of their friends working somewhere else that will just make sure that the whole seamless process of destroying that business that's got 8 or 9 pubs will work beautifully, and we can sell it off to someone else. Another job done.
Yeah.
Job done. 10 pubs gone. You know, these Pakistanis, I'm not referring to them lot, the ones that work within the establishment's gearing. And it's very easy for them to do it because they don't like us. They go back to the old days of the 70s where the English was saying packy bashing and all that stuff was going on. And so they're in a way doing it to us now with carte blanche, because they say, well, look, you've done it to us in the 70s and 80s when we come over to England. Some of the people give us a right hard time. So we've now got carte blanche to come and destroy your businesses. We can do it working with insolvency practitioners and the banks and the lawyers and the courts. We've got the whole thing set up.
Yeah.
Socialism, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to tap into what's left of, well, I'm not going to say what's left, what's always been there, but we haven't dipped into the world of the travelling world. We haven't really gone into their world, and they haven't come over into ours. We've always kept separate. I'd like to meet them. I'd like to get together. I'd like to sit down and have a pint and talk about the future, and that's what I'd like to do.
Yeah, well,
England.
hopefully there's some travellers listening to this. There certainly used to be on a bigger channel, which got took down. There was a number of travellers that used to listen to it. I know that, but definitely we need to start reaching out in all directions, and especially.
Do you think that's a bad call to talk about?
No, I don't. No, I don't. I'll tell you the one of the reasons why I like travellers in terms of, and especially when you look at the hierarchy of the communities, they know English law inside out, and they use it.
What are we doing? Not talking to them.
And they use it very effectively.
What are we doing? Not talking to them, Mr. Moore?
No, I agree. I don't disagree with you, but it's knowing them people. It's like, you know, you got thousands and thousands in biker groups, but it's bringing the biker groups together to say, listen, you know, you do realise that in 10 years' time they're going to say to you, you're not allowed to have a motorcycle, you know. And there's nothing you can do about it. So what side of the fence are you going to be on then? Are you going to wait until they get to you? It's a bit like there's that old story, you know, of the group of people where they said, you know, they come for the for the Masons, for example, in Germany, and then there was no more Masons, and then they come for the next group of people, and then there was no more Masons, and then when they finally come for the last group of people, there was no one else there to stand with them. They'd all gone, and they left them to last. The crocodile will eat you last, and until people actually realise that and start stepping up to the plate. But let me tell you something. What is really difficult, and I know this from personal experience of doing this, is getting people to stand, and getting people putting your name up so someone can vote for you. And an amount of emails I get from people, and I mean hundreds and hundreds, all from all over the country, who's standing in my area, I'd vote for them. Well, the hardest thing in the world is to get the people to actually stand up, because they all make... I've done it 3-4 times, right? People always say, yeah, I'll do it. And it comes to the crunch, and for some reason, they back out, right? And then the people of that area have got no one to fucking vote for. And you know, there's a group, it's like when you go to patriot movements, right? If you go to a patriot thing, you'll always see the same faces there. They're always the same faces. Well, at a slightly higher level than that, you'll always see the same faces that actually stand for election. But the others don't step forward and stand. Well, unless you fucking stand, no one can vote for you. No one can vote if you don't stand. So, but there's enough of us, you know, to get on the ballot on every single constituency. But the people just don't stick themselves up and do it. It's not hard either. It's simple. That's part of the problem.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So they say that they're going to do it and they don't do it.
Exactly. Let me tell you something. Everything I've said I will do, I've always done, right? And again, this is not... I mean, some stood down, but we had no one to come up behind him, or it was too late because you got time things that you have to put in. There were other people that said to me, yeah, I'll stand, I'll do this, I'll do that, and they didn't do it. I'm not having a pop with them people. I'm just telling you, that's the way it is. You know, and again, I mean, the last time I stood in December, I was, you know, in this whole area, I had a choice of places that we shouldn't be having choices of where you stand. We should be having hustings to say who out of 2 or 3 people wants to stand in that area. But we're not getting that. And it's not because there's not enough of us. There is. But people just don't step up to the mark and do it. And then, they write me emails and say, yeah, there's no one to vote for. And I say, so what area are you in? They tell me. I say, so why don't you stand? Oh, I don't know anything about politics. You don't need to know anything about politics. You just need to put your name on the effing ballot paper. That's it. And then give someone, you would then have the assistance of, me, Robin, and a number of other people. That's the way it works. But it's getting the people to do it. Let me put it this way. I had a conversation today. I won't say who with, right? Oh, you've gone.
No, I'm here.
Oh, right. That was the other one. I had a conversation today, right? And it was with someone in the English Democrats. And we was having this similar discussion. And he said to me, at the end of the day, we're all breaking our necks to push forward. How many people actually stand up? And what we was talking about was that they're shutting down. They've shut us down at every avenue. They've shut us down from the justice system. They've shut us down from the politics system. They've shut us down from virtually every avenue, right? And we was having a discussion, and I said, the problem is, and this person was referring to other countries, he said, but in other countries, when they shut you down on every avenue, sooner or later, the people snap. And when they snap, it's uncontrollable. That's when the people take back control of their nation. But what that person said to me on the phone today was, we can't even get people to stand with us in elections or going out on marches. So when me, you and other people are all standing there saying, we're going to do this, we're going to push this fight forward, he said, these people won't even stand for election. He said, you really think they're going to stand next year when they've got fucking the army coming at you and the old Bill coming at you with fucking riot sticks and fucking tear gas? Are they fuck? They won't even stand for election. They won't even stand for election. Let me just say this to you. You are respect, right? And I'm not just saying that because you're on the phone. I know that you would be one of the men standing by me. But the rest of these cunts will be hiding in their fucking attics. And we'll be the ones being slaughtered on the fucking streets.
No, we wouldn't be the ones being slaughtered on the streets because me and you would sit down and talk. And if they're listening, because they love to listen to all our mechanical fucking things, me and you would have a sit down on the left-hand side and I would introduce to you our capabilities, our backdoor capabilities. And you go, fucking hell, we don't need to get on the fighting ground just yet. You can do that, you can do that, you can do that. Fucking hell, you can do this. And when they're listening to us, there's about 250 men who don't use mobile phones ever.
Yeah.
Operate in a way that, when you said earlier on your show, you said, people, they're not really doing anything. I took a bit umbrage to that because I thought, fucking not doing anything. Us lot, we've been sitting down.
No, listen, I know, no.
We're very active, sir.
Listen, I understand that. And there's other people that I speak to that I do understand that. But what I'm trying to say to you is, from a political point of view, if you can't even get people to put their name and address, send it into the council, for the English Democrats to say, if you can't afford it, here's the 500 quid just to put your name on a fucking ballot paper so someone can vote for you, right? But that's what I'm saying. Then people are not standing up and coming forward. And every time you go out, and you actually go out on these patriot movements, these do's and everything, you see the same faces, right? They're all the same people. They are patriots. Don't get me wrong, they're patriots. And they will make the effort. But that's what the point of the person who was saying it to me today. He said, this person was in despair. And what he was saying to me was, if it come to a fight, Graham, these people can't even put their fucking names on a ballot. Do you really think they're going to stand in the fucking streets with us and take this fucking fight to them? And I'll give you an example. Even members of my family say to me, I want to storm Parliament. And I say, you can storm fucking Parliament. All they're going to do is bring the fucking army in and the police in and fucking annihilate you. That's what they want. You have to have a strategy for dealing with them.
That's right. Daddy Dragon knows, that's right. And then listening to us saying, that's right, doesn't tell them anything. Just tells them that what he's saying, Graham, is right. A strategy, nothing like storming Parliament. That's a bit like riding up, oh look, us lot, 300 people going to storm Parliament, look at this.
Exactly that. So when I have the conversations with them people, I'm like, for fuck's sake, shut up. Well, you got to get. But I've got to be honest with you. There's a lot of younger people now that have started to think like that, and yet these elites don't even realise that them younger people are starting to think like that. I mean, when you look back at the past and you look at the history, trust me, history repeats itself. The Peasants' Revolt didn't come from fucking nowhere. It come from Essex. It crossed the fucking Thames. It come to where I'm sitting now, travelled into fucking Kent, and they went into London. And it all started because the so-called elites started sticking their fingers up the private parts of the daughters of the villagers to test to see if they were virgins. That's what the fucking Peasants' Revolt, and the people there, the candlestick makers, the bakers and all that, said, they're my fucking daughters. Who the fuck do you think you are? And when they sent them out to Essex, a group of them walked in there, and the people said, come on in. And as they walked into the village, they chopped their fucking heads off and stuck them on spikes, and then said to the main geezer on the horse, now fuck off and tell your governor not to come down here touching our daughters. That's what it started over. And it ended up going in there with somewhere 20, 30, 40,000 people. And they ended up, obviously, there were a lot of deaths involved at the end of it. But that's where the Peasants' Revolt come from. It come because they started taking liberties. Now what you've got English girls being raped all over this country. And in reality, no fucker's done anything. You've had soldiers being beheaded on our streets. When is the point that people go, fuck this, we're not tolerating it anymore?
I didn't know that, but in my mind, when you say that, there is a lot of people that say to themselves, they read the paper, they sit at home, they look at the story and go, oh, it's not round here, it's up north, it's all right, it's not a problem, it's all right. And they just blindside it and forget all about it because it's like 500 mile away or 400 mile away.
Yeah.
Then it gets to the villages and comes local, and people start, oh, something happened local, and eventually, only when it comes up to their doorstep, to their fucking house, but I'm not saying too much because all the fuckers are listening that are out there. Only when it comes close and right up to them do they start.
No, I agree.
Start being concerned about what's going on.
I agree.
So are you thinking, people that are listening out there? Because there are a lot of English people listening to what me and Graham are talking about. Do you think then that the travelling community, the black community, the Irish community, the Scottish up north, there's a lot of Scots, the Birmingham people, the Manchester folk, the ones that are right on the Northumberland coast, in Newcastle, Portsmouth, the fighting people from Portsmouth, we're all English. They've just been taken over by the British and used for their fucking bad manoeuvres.
Yeah.
All of the English people in every town up and down the country have all been taken by the British system and used for their own gain.
Yeah.
So we're all English. All the army, when you say there's 300 people that are going down to Parliament and they storm Parliament and then the army come in and they stop and they go, hang on, hello Jeff, how you doing? You're my girl's teacher. Can you imagine the army sort of stopping 300 people and going, hello mate, how you doing? You're fucking so-and-so. We're all English people. You've got the British using us as the army to go against the people that are fucking going against Parliament, and we're all from the same crew. We're all English anyway. And everyone shrugs off their shirts and goes, you know what, fuck this British shit. Let's take over our country. Let's take over the Parliament. Let's take over the army. Shrug that British flag off, put an English one on, and it's done.
Yeah.
But we like the blacks, and we like the Irish, and we like the fucking not the. When I say Irish, I mean the Irish from the travelling community, because there's a lot of Irish in the travelling community. But I think they want to live in this country more than their own country.
Yeah.
So that's my confusing point was earlier saying to you about the travellers. There's a lot of Irish travellers that are in England. Do they like living here more? Do they consider themselves more to be English than what they are in their own country? Why come here? Do you want to fight with us? Do you want to stand shoulder to shoulder with us? Or do you want to backdoor us and fucking sell us out to the EU? I don't know. There's a lot of conversations that probably need to be taking place, but we could do with a lot of people. We could do with a lot of blacks. We could do with a lot of travellers. We could do with a lot of people to galvanise the process.
Yeah, no, I agree. Right, I'm going to have to jump. There's someone else trying to call in who's rung quite a few times. So I will speak to you again shortly.
Magic talking to you. Magic stuff. Thank you for your time.
Magic to you. And I've got to tell you something. I know you probably don't realise this, but you actually inspire me. So I'm grateful for your calls.
You're different stuff. If we could have 1,000 of you, if we could clone you and have one of you in every village up and down the country of England, we would be all right.
Well, hopefully we'll create something similar, which is every man coming up, man, woman, put their name down and stick it on there. Stick your ballot up.
We're all active. We're all fucking ready. We stay off our mobile phones, and we're ready. I've got to put this across to your listeners. We're ready for fucking war.
Yeah.
And that's all I've got to say, because we are.
All right, mate.
250 men who don't use their mobile phones, who all have a chat in other ways. Love ya. Love England. Love the people that are listening. Love Daddy Dragon. And we keep on supporting you and sending our money in different ways. All the best. Love you, mate.
Be lucky, my friend.
Ciao, mate.
Bye. Let's see if I can turn this up on there. Right. Hello.
Hi, Graham.
Who's this?
It's Tracy Turner.
Hello, Tracy. How you doing, darling?
I'm all right, my darling.
Right. Let me just make sure.
It's not Tracy Truthism.
No, it's Tracy Turner.
Yeah.
I know. I've missed you.
And
Where you been?
Well, I've had a few health problems, but let's not go there.
Right.
I'm not a victimer. But I just wanted to reassure your last caller, Graham. I work with a massive amount of gypsy travellers over in the Cray area for 17 years as a housing officer. And I can reassure him that when push comes to shove, they will be on our side.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Totally. I've met the most decent people. Listen, they've all got their wrong ones.
Yeah.
And so have we.
No, I agree.
I know how to earn a pound note. But when push comes to shove, they will be behind the English.
Yeah.
Totally.
100%.
Yeah, no, definitely. There's some decent travellers out there, as in any society or any culture or any religion, Graham. You've got your good ones, you've got your bad ones. And unfortunately for us, at the moment, with all the illegal immigrants that are coming in and we are being outnumbered.
Yeah.
And he's totally right in what he says. All us little English groups, blacks, white, travellers, we all need to come together and stand up to this.
Yeah. I don't disagree. I just want to ask the question to everyone. No volume caller, not very good. Can you hear the caller a bit louder now? Because I've tried to put it on another screen and you should be able to hear it. Let me just see what they say. So Tracy, give us a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
What, me?
Yeah, you.
I don't know how to switch.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, you're low on the volume. I don't know why low.
Yeah, no, your last caller was Graham. I had to keep turning him up.
Yeah, no,
But,
I've
it's
got.
not you, it's the caller.
Yeah, now I've got to find out why it's doing that again. But it
Yeah, no, it's definitely not you, darling.
right, I'll have to work that one
It's
out.
something to do with the sound, yeah. Because I had to keep turning him up, and then all of a sudden you blast out when you answered.
Yeah,
But, yeah, no, I totally, the poor, you know, I just wanted to reassure him that I know the travelling community. I've worked with them for a long, long time. I don't anymore. What I do know, they would. When push comes to shove, they will be behind us.
yeah. No, again,
And I'm saying, you know, our black British community, you know, what the government's doing at the moment, they're dividing us. It's like the old divide and conquer.
yeah,
You know, you've got so many people on the left will shout out about this. Oh, God. Let's cancel everyone, shall we? You know, it's getting a bit of a joke. And I think people are waking up now, Graham, more and more. And they're just, like, realising that what we're being fed by the mainstream media isn't the truth.
yeah. I know.
But anyway, how are you, my darling? You've stopped your pills and your medication. Are you feeling okay?
Yeah, no, I'm feeling pretty good at the moment.
You're looking good.
Thank you.
Nice soft cheek.
Yeah, especially when I've had a beer.
Drink.
Yeah, no, that's it. As soon as I've had a beer, my cheeks go rosy, and everyone says to me, "Oh, look, he's had a drink."
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to say that I love everyone. I wanted to pick up that last caller and just say, yeah, we're all joining up now. TEAR. It's happening. The English are rising.
Well, let me see if I can push that over. The English are rising.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think you might be a bit louder now.
Oh, God, don't have me too loud, Graham. I feel like I'm shouting.
It might be even worse for
I
me.
said to my sister, I'm going to try and phone in and put on a posh voice. Because the last time I called in, I sounded like a fishmonger's wife. And
You could have what? Sound like a fishmonger's wife. That's a cracker, that was.
But yeah, just a shout out to you, Graham. Keep up the good work. You do a brilliant job. I love listening into your shows. I can't always come in and comment because of certain things going on, but I just want to say to everyone out there, Suzanne, Tracy Truvism, everybody, Roy, Durf, our Durf.
Yeah. Okay.
Durf.
Well, thank you for calling in.
Okay, well, you take care.
And you. Be lucky.
Bye, everyone. Take care.
Bye.
Have a good night. Bye.
Bye. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Who's this?
It's Jimmy. From
Hello.
Mahalo.
How are you? Don't forget to turn your thing down in the background.
I'm moving out. I'm moving out. There's other people listening. I spoke to you before on the PSB channel, Mara.
Yeah.
It was a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
And that's how I've managed to leave my number on your other number.
All right.
It was me phoning that one as well. All I'm saying is there's a lot of support for independence around my area.
Yeah.
I'm the only English Democrat I know. Right? I'm getting the England flag stitched on top of me County Durham flag for the march on the 22nd of this end.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I need leaflets and stickers or just stuff to hand out to people, mate, to give them more information. And I found out since that I can't stand. I didn't. I thought because I'd been a bit of a bad boy over the years that I was unable to stand. And then people in the pubs, since the pubs was open, went, hold on a minute, young, why did you stand? You know, these Tory and Labour are full of paedophiles and that's still
exactly that.
You know what I mean, Mara? So, like, I'm willing to stand next time. I really am.
Well, that's one of the things I was going to say to you is this, right? Even if you've served a life sentence for murder, you can still stand as a member of Parliament. And I want to explain this to people and you so you understand there is now a restriction, but that restriction isn't about the length of sentence that you've served, it's the length of sentence you are serving. So if you're serving a sentence more than 1 year, you can't stand. So in other words, even if you're a serving prisoner, you can stand for election as a member of Parliament, right?
But if you get out and you've done your years, say probation or whatever, after that's finished, you could stand.
No, you can. So let me explain the reason why they brought. So let me put it this way: it used to be that even if you was serving a life sentence, it didn't matter what sentence you was serving, you could stand as an MP, right? And what happened was the IRA got Bobby Sands and others who were serving life sentences for murder to stand as members of Parliament in Westminster. They were then elected.
Excuse to take that right away.
Right, they was then elected, right? So Westminster, or the powers that be, said, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to change the law and say that if you're serving a sentence over 1 year's imprisonment, you can't stand. But people have got to understand this, yeah? That means even if you... So let's say you got nicked tomorrow for, I don't know...
Just call it whatever.
Whatever you got nicked for, and you got a 1 year prison sentence, or actually a 2 year prison sentence, yeah? If you got a 2 year prison sentence and there was an election immediately, they would then say you can't stand because you're serving in prison over a year, right?
Right.
If you'd served 3 months of that sentence, and you were still in prison, you can then stand, because what they're saying is you ain't going to be in prison for more than a year, because they have to pay your salary while you're in prison.
Yes.
That was the point of them doing it, because they had to pay salaries to the IRA. Yeah. That's why it caused the problem.
It's lovely to hear this information and history, and it's the Acts of Parliament which are illegal under our 1689 amended Constitution, I do believe, and we need our common law rights back because the country belongs to the common man, and them not think the rulers are meant to be doing what we tell them to do.
And that's exactly right. We're the bosses, not them.
Yes,
and we've allowed them to assume position of the governor.
Because of the big black box that's stuck on the wall called the telly.
Exactly that.
It's indoctrinated a lot of people. I couldn't believe it when my eyes was opened. I mean, yes, I did jump on the kill bandwagon, and that's why I was speaking on the PSB back in the day. Good 3 years ago now, that. But I mean, how much of that has come to pass? It was berserk last year because it was like things that were said 2 years ago were happening. You know, so goodness only knows what's going on in the background. And this pandemic is a look here while else has gone on, I do believe, in my humble opinion. No, you know, but I'll be there on the 22nd of this end. You know, I'll have my flag stitched together. I'll have my Infowars on. I'll have my English Democrats badge, the first one I got because I got my first membership last year. Runs out July the 21st. I haven't got a lot of money. At the moment, I'm being paid by the state, and I think spending my money with people like you is a better way of using their money that they're giving to me for quotation marks free, when there's no such thing as free money, Mario, unless you're a banker. You know that. I know that. It's other people's working money that they deserve to keep for themselves. I'd rather have a hand up than a hand out. You know, and I'm in the Labour heartland here.
Yeah. Well, again,
but there was 2,000 votes went missing, allegedly, in the County Durham area, which would have put Labour out of their county council.
Yeah.
And 4,000 were found.
Yeah.
So if there's only 2,000 missing and 4,000 found, something's not right somewhere. What about local elections and stuff like that, where you don't need a PFA? If I wasn't to become an MP, could I stand in a local election?
Yeah, you could. The local elections are even simpler. The only election that doesn't allow for any criminal conviction whatsoever is a police commissioner. And you've got to be whiter than white.
Yes.
And generally, the people who are whiter than white are probably the biggest crooks out there.
Yeah.
You know,
I totally understand. You know I'm onto it. I try and inform people every day, mate. This is my main message to people out there listening to your show. Just pump out a message, get people jumping down the one little rabbit hole of information, but make sure it's correct information, you know, and there's plenty of ways to find out whether it's lies or facts. Yeah. And it's the facts that matter, and the left cannot stand facts, which is why our first right, which is free speech, is being hammered the most, I believe. Yeah. You know, so we've got to fight with pure passion for that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Otherwise, we've got nothing left.
No, you know? I agree. And again, you know, it's people like you that get the message out there. I mean, when I, you know, start, especially when I have people ringing me in some of them in quite despairing. And you say, listen, all we can do is keep pushing on. That's all we can do. The only thing I'll say to anyone and everyone listening to this, if I'm the last fucking man standing, I will never, ever fucking surrender. Not to these people, to anyone else.
The Lion of London Bridge will never be forgotten by the Sunderland fans and all that.
No, I agree. Roy.
When that bloke was hiding under the table shouting, "It's not all Muslims," with his cow and wife, while waitresses are getting the sports lit. Where do you think I'd have been, Daddy Dragon? I'd had a chair or a table in my arms, man.
Make you fucking right. What do? You pick a fucking chair up and you fucking hit them with it.
There you go,
That's how you have a fucking street tear up.
There you go. And it's just nice to know there's people connected around the country, maybe for different reasons, you know, but we need to stop and understand why they're pushing the division, and that's to keep us fighting amongst ourselves and not looking at the bigger picture, especially the problem, reaction, solution part.
Oh, mate, you're right.
Right, well, good night. God bless Daddy Dragon and all your listeners. I'm going back in, trying to watch on the TV and read your comments of your listeners and subscribers, Mark.
Well, thank you for calling in. You're another inspiration, my friend.
Well, thank you very much for that. It makes me feel proud, and it makes us want to go out and do it even more.
Yeah. All right, no worries. Be lucky.
Same as you. God bless and all the best to you and yours forever, mate. Amen.
No worries. Be lucky.
Bye.
Hello.
Hello.
Don't forget to turn your sound down in the background.
Yeah, stop.
Hello. Who am I speaking to? Well, you ain't got to say your name. You can just say hello. Go on.
No, I've got to say my name. You know me anyway. It's John Pierce.
Hello, Mr. Pierce. How you doing, my son?
All right, mate.
Listen, Mr. Pierce with the great flag, one of the great people that went out down Clacton, and let me tell you something, I had a phone call today from Robin Tilbrook, and he said to me that he's got a breakdown of the people that supported him in all the areas, and one of the highest areas of support was in Basildon and Clacton, which tells you something, that it actually works. When you get out with them flags and you say to people, vote, they do.
Yeah, it's just getting enough of us out there, and you say people stand, etc., etc. I mean, I've been having that discussion about standing with Jen in our area. I mean, we come under London, like Julia Lopez is our MP. I know a lot of people around here. Obviously, my age is a problem. And also, I've got to take care of Jen.
Yeah, I know.
But we're considering it. We're considering it, right? You know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've got one for you. As soon as it's pub night.
Go on.
Right, I've got one pub question for you.
Go on.
Right, you have got a bottle of Bishop's Fingers.
Yeah.
Do you know what a Bishop's Fingers is?
No, go on.
Got ya. I've got ya. Right, when you drive down the country lanes, you see a post standing up, and it's got little signs pointing each way, telling you where this is, where that is, where the church is. That's what's called a Bishop's Fingers.
Oh, is it?
And if you read the small print on your bottle, it might tell you on there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what it is. Bishop's Fingers.
Thank you very much for that one.
Anyway, I've got another little bit for you. I was at work this morning, had a bit of time, and I was listening to Alex Belfield. I know he's a Brit, but he came up with something that was quite interesting to do with the governor of Florida.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything about it?
No.
Well, apparently, right, he has said that the lockdown there is totally illegal. Totally illegal, and he said, right, that anybody that's been fined or convicted, they're all going to be quashed. Everybody's being pardoned.
Well, hang on a minute. I can't show, and I don't want to show it on this screen, so I don't know how I'll do this, but I'm going to try and do this. Let me just see if I can do this a different way, right? Hang on a minute. This is going to go pear-shaped, I know it is.
There's nothing up on the screen anyway, apart from your voice.
Right, hang on a minute. Let me just see if I can do this. What I'm saying is I don't want to change this thing. I need to find where this letter was, and that ain't it. Where the frig did that go? I'll tell you, I know where that went. Let me just see if I can find it again. Hang on, stay there. Let's see where it's come from, and I will read something out to you because this is really important. And by the way, Robin Tilbrook said to me today, it is his opinion. Right, it says it already exists. Hang on a minute. Let me open it up. It's pinging away. Hopefully this don't come up on the screen. I'll tell you for why, because it's got her address on it. Right. So what you just said was really important, and I want everyone to listen to what I'm about to say. This is a certain person and a hairdresser, that got a number of fines for opening up hairdressers under the lockdown conditions, right? And it come back, and this is what it says. Penalty notice, health protection coronavirus restrictions, England, number 4, regulations 2020. I refer to the fixed penalty notices issued to you under ACRO reference blah blah on the 5th of the 2nd, 2021. The issuing force have reviewed the evidence in relation to this fixed penalty notice, and she didn't supply any evidence, and have subsequently made the decision to take no further action. The case is now closed. Please retain this letter for your records. Now listen to this. Please note, if you have already provided payment to ACRO, a refund will be processed imminently according to the original payment method. You will receive further correspondence relating to this. And then it goes on and it talks about, and it takes you to a government link. Now, I have spoken to Robin today, and he said to me, all your efforts, in my opinion, of talking about the Constitution, getting people with these fines, putting constitutional law in the magistrates and to the Crown Courts, has made a difference, because they've realised that they have to go through the constitutional element with every one of these people because that's the law, right? And they've realised that what they did was illegal, and that is why they're taking no further action and refunding all of the fines that they've paid out. Now, we've got a particular problem with a certain person because a particular agency took it a different route. Now, what I've said is, don't matter what, we're going to fight that. We're going to fight it in the High Court, and if we have to, we're going to take it to the United Nations and fight it there too. So what I'm saying to all those people out there, you don't realise how powerful you are, and you don't realise how powerful these channels are, because they do work, and people are being sent these notices now, and if you've paid, they're going to refund you.
This is massive, Graham. This is massive. Like, just to nip back to the American bit again with the governor there, right? I think our mate Donald Trump has played a blinder.
Yeah.
Because this is all now going to come out big time.
Yeah.
It's all got to come out into the open now. It's going to go into courts. The solicitors are going to be queuing up like nobody's business to take this on in America. I mean, over there, you've only got to put your pants and someone's going to sue you.
Yeah, no,
so,
I agree.
This is going to go right the way through the courts, and this is going to probably going to take a couple of months or so before we start actually hearing, say, on the mainstream media over here.
Yeah.
But this is big. I've been talking to some people at work today about this is big. This is going to be bigger than anything. Once the claims and that start going in, they're not going to be out wide.
No, they're not.
I think Mr. Trump has played a blinder because he's got the midterms next year, right? All the vaccines, everything else is all going to be planted on the Dems.
Exactly
and,
that.
That's it, and that's it now. He's going to come in with some power behind him in Congress and the Senate. That's my opinion, where I might be right, might be wrong.
Yeah, and now the focus is on Arizona. The focus is on the elections, and then people will see everything that they've done. And you're not just talking about fines and lockdowns being unlawful. You're talking about old people and elderly people put into care homes and dying. And you're potentially talking about the mayor of, I think it's the mayor of New York, going on a genocide or a murder trial. And just realise that the British have recently, I understand, I haven't looked into it yet, tried to repeal the Genocide Act.
Yeah.
Well, if that is true, and they're trying to repeal the Genocide Act last week or whenever it was, there's a reason for that. But internationally, you cannot repeal the Genocide Act. Yeah. International law says that you cannot do that.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about Nuremberg. This is going to be exactly big stuff, like, no? Exactly this is going to wake up the people that have been sitting there with deaf ears. It's got to wake them up. I'll say it's going to take a bit of a while before it creeps over here, but it will.
No, I agree.
Yeah. Anyway, Gray, I better let you go in case somebody else wants to get on. Nice to talk to you again, and I'll speak to you soon.
All right, be lucky, my friend, and keep flying the flag, you and Jen.
Oh, by the way, we buried Jen's mum Tuesday. It was a fantastic ceremony. Like, I think it's lifted. It feels a little bit better now. Now we've got it over and out of the way. But God bless her. She's sitting next to me as usual. Always next to me.
Yeah. No, God bless you.
All right, Grant.
All right,
I'll leave you in peace.
Be lucky.
Buddy.
Bye.
Bye, mate. Bye.
Bye, Jen.
Bye.
There you go. Right. I'm hoping these numbers ain't coming up here. Hello.
Hello, Gordon.
Who's this? Who's this?
It's Sheila.
Hello.
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 How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, cool, thank you. Been really glad to hear about Rex Gym in Preston because I'm from 9 miles away from there.
All right.
And it was great to hear the show yesterday, just to hear the Lancashire accent, if nothing else.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you what, Stevie's an absolute blinder. He's another one. Just talking to him inspires me, and if all of the the English can come together and have the attitude that the people calling into this show, the people going out, literally canvassing with us, and they're just so positive, and that's what you got to keep pushing forward. But yeah, Steve Todd certainly knows his stuff in relation to health, which is a good thing.
Do you know what? If I'd still been living there, I would probably have gone to his gym. I've never gone to a gym in my life.
Yeah.
So inspired by him, well, and yourself, obviously. The two things go together.
Yeah.
And this is how brilliant it is, how things come out into the open and get shared. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, So are you going tomorrow? Did you find out what was happening?
I don't know what's going on tomorrow at all. People are saying there's echo on this one. I don't know why. Was there echo on the last one? Let me just ask the people. Turn the sound down.
Yeah, there was an echo last time.
Oh, there was. Well, that basically means that you're getting feedback from my mic because it's coming through something else. Let me see if I can switch the sound. But if I switch the sound off of this, it'll go even lower. But anyway, let me see if I can kill that one. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put that back to where it was, which was in front of me. Hang on a minute. How am I going to do this? Not sure how I'm going to do it, but we'll have a bash. I'll try and do it like that, and then I'll pull that down and bring that back on this one. And then hopefully people will be able to hear that again. Let me see if that has cured the echo, but you might get it lower. I've got to work out why it's doing that, and I will do it eventually, but it's a bit difficult when you're live trying to do it.
Yeah, it is. I laughed a few days back.
Yeah.
Somebody on your live chat said that on the screen, you might look like a large insect.
On the screen, I look like a what?
No, on the screen, your new mic.
Yeah.
Look like a large insect.
It looks like a large insect. Yeah, no, it does, doesn't it? It looks like a big spider or something coming across my screen.
Yeah, it's very funny, yeah.
No, I've got a few different mics, but where people keep asking me to, some of the mics start to take a bit of a dive after a while. But this mic I've had for a while, and I'll just put it back on there. I'm waiting for a lead to turn up, but the lead ain't turned up yet, and I'll be able to do it. But I know what the thing is. So give us a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
What, myself?
Yeah.
On a Friday, can I count that far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
There you go. Well, so that's probably gone down a bit. So I'm blasting, and I've got to work out how to bring your sound into, and I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I will work out how to do it. I've got a funny feeling I'll have to do that on the lower frames, but I haven't worked it out yet. I will do it though, but not yet. But was there anything else you wanted to say?
Well, I was just thinking back a lot since I discovered your channel, and thinking about things that happened in the 80s, and it's astonishing. I think really their plan was to do this in the 80s, but because they didn't have the tech, people just weren't on the internet. I don't think they could get out the mind processes that they needed to carry this off.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, the Infectious Diseases Act popping out in 1984.
Yeah.
Yeah, and funnily enough, I was ill then, and I was under an immunologist for 6 years after that.
Yeah.
And he said to me, whatever you do, don't have the flu jab. So that was back in, 84, 6 years. That'd be 90, wouldn't it? That was back in 1990.
Yeah.
So, because of my immune response. So, but what I have seen is, we've seen this all before. I mean, what they tried to pull off with the AIDS, what they called the AIDS epidemic, was nobody's business.
Yeah.
They had these horrendous adverts every 5 minutes, and we were all going to die, and people wouldn't let you touch the pen at work, and you couldn't wash the cups, and then they took...
Couldn't wash their what? Didn't say, hang on a minute, say that again. Couldn't wash their what?
People at work wouldn't let you wash their cups.
I thought, you said cups?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So things you pee out of.
Yeah, it sounded like something else you said then, but I'll say you can... I won't say anything, sorry. I know it's a Friday night and I've had a beer, but I won't make any comments on what I thought you said.
We'll have to get subtitles for me.
So, yeah, no, I agree with you. If remember what they did then. Remember some of the programming they did, if you like, for Ethiopia, Feed the World, and then you had the big AIDS. And by the way, they're actually saying that they believe that ivermectin is a cure for AIDS. By the way, so. And there's a particular reason for that. So there's lots of things that you're right, that come up in the 80s, and it was almost like they was testing the water of what they could get away with and what they couldn't get away with.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, the ensuing mad cows, salmonella, and they've done it over and over again, and that's why I've been able to say to my girls, look, I don't want you worrying about this, because we've been here before. Somebody I work with said, aren't you scared? And I said, no, why would I be? I said, but I've got to tell you guys that according to Werner von Braun, the final scam is alien invasion.
Yeah.
Because he predicted all this, Werner von Braun.
Yeah. If you think back to, I can't remember, someone in the chat's going to tell me who it was. Does everyone remember I think it was either the 20s or the 30s, I think it was the 30s, and there was a radio show, and it was about an alien invasion. People in the chat are going to remember. Someone's going to remember what this was, and there
War
were
of the World.
War of the.
It was War of the Worlds, and they transmitted it as if it was a news broadcast.
Yeah. And there was people jumping off of tower blocks.
Yeah, there was. And that's not funny, but
yeah.
I can't believe it, can you, that people were being so dim. But anyway, it's a bit scary what's going on in the Northwest, isn't it? With Boris's announcement today, he's sending a general, and he's going to have troops on the street in the Northwest.
I haven't seen that today.
Yeah, that's what Boris says. He says, we're sorry about the problem in Blackburn and Bolton, which is very near Preston. And I'm sending a general, and we'll be having troops on the street. Didn't say what they were going to be doing.
Is this in relation to COVID?
Yeah, that's what he said tonight.
That's disgusting, isn't it?
Yeah, but it depends what they're doing. I mean, if they're going to be busting some human trafficking, then good on them. I think there's a lot of human trafficking. Has had to have the COVID lockdown to help the human trafficking. Personally, you've got to keep people from moving around if you want to put them down and arrest them. So I'm hoping it's that, because human trafficking is a huge problem. Disgusting, and
no, I agree. It's a huge problem, and some of me believes there's something else going on while there's been lockdowns. I don't know, and I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But it's obvious that there is something seriously wrong out there with what's going on. So everyone's coming back now saying Orson Welles radio broadcast. Thank you, and it was War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Can you explain something to me? When the COVID briefing started by the government, they would come from a back room into the front room onto this carpet that looked like the slides of coronavirus that they were showing us. And now Boris is no longer transmitting from the corona carpet. I don't know what's happened to that carpet, but one of the BBC ladies, she had a corona dress on. I found that really interesting.
Did she?
Yeah, I've got to take a picture of it. I tell you, you wouldn't believe it. You know, at the beginning when they wanted us all to believe it all, but
Yeah.
yeah, but she hasn't believed anything since the 80s. Because it was disgusting what went on in the 80s in the newspapers.
Yeah.
Never believed it. And anyway, congratulations on what Robin said. How thrilling is that?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, really good. And it is, to be fair, he phoned me up and he said, you know, we did do really well in Clacton and Basildon, and he's got the details. He's going to send them over to me. So it shows it makes a difference in what we're doing. And you know, and the fact if we had people standing, it doesn't need a lot of people, you know, in each area, in each constituency, maybe 5 people. But to stand there with an English flag and tell people, be proud to be English, yeah, and vote English. That's all we're asking. And all of a sudden you'll start to see this mushroom because people have had enough.
Yeah. Well, I really regret not standing for police commissioner just to get English Democrats, you know, on the ballot paper.
What area are you in again?
I'm in Devon. I'm near Brixham.
Oh, right, that's right. Yeah, you're the Brixham lady. Let me just say this to you. We've got, we've potentially got, and Robin asked me to ask people this, we've potentially got a re-election of the Wiltshire election. So the Wiltshire Police Commissioner, they elected a Tory. It turns out he's got a criminal conviction of 30 years ago for drink driving.
Wow.
And now they're going to scrap that. We believe they're going to scrap the election and redo it. So it'll be a full re-election. And we need someone in the Wiltshire area without any criminal convictions, and you don't have to know anything about politics whatsoever, and especially with the Police and Crime Commissioner. Yeah. We just need someone who can stand in that area, and you ain't got to worry about the deposit. I believe that the English Democrats are going to put the deposit up. So if there's anyone listening in Wiltshire who wants to stand or wants to help us out, you literally stick your name up there. If you just happen to win it, we'll help you. You ain't got to worry.
Well, in Newton Abbot, an independent won for county council, I think it was.
Yeah.
And in the other part of Newton Abbot, the independent, both the same organisation, came second, and that was Newton Abbot says no. Because they're trying to overdevelop it, and it doesn't have the infrastructure.
Yeah.
And,
No.
You're already sitting in queues and things in Newton Abbot, so they've got together. So I was in Totnes today, and there was a piece of land apparently that was promised for sustainable social housing, community housing, and apparently it was bought out by a big company instead. So they're getting a campaign up. So I said, why don't you talk to the Newton campaign and talk to each other, and then they'll get the idea that us ordinary folk ain't having it no more.
Yeah.
That's where we need to be coming from, isn't it? We're not having it. You work for us.
No, that's right. They do work for us. And one way or the other, we have to put them right. And we are going to put them right. Touch wood.
Absolutely.
Well, what else was going to say to you? Okay. Well, so next time I come down to Brixton, I can pop in then.
You can pop it. I'm not in Brixton, but I'm very close.
Oh, are you?
I'm nearer to Newton Abbot than Brixton.
All right. Yeah, I know that.
Of course you can pop in.
I'll pop in.
Those English Democrats need to stand together.
That's it. Agreed.
With a cup of tea.
Okay. Well, thank you for the call, Sheila.
Yeah, you're What happened?
What do you mean? Why am I extending the show, you mean? Because I was at...
Yeah, I've missed the show because I've been at a family celebration.
Oh, have you? No, I've been on since 8.
Yeah.
So I decided to carry on because people was ringing and wanted to have a chat, so we just carried on.
You're going to be talking in your sleep.
I will. I've got to work out whether I write up the rest of Steve Todd's appeal by tomorrow, or I'll go to a demo. So I need a vote. Shall I go to a demo or write out the appeal?
When's the appeal?
Well, we've got to get the appeal in by Monday.
Oh, close call, Graham.
Well, actually, I've written it all out, but we just got to get it in there. So if you had a drink drive conviction, you can't stand. I had one about 36 years ago. Journeyman. So let me emphasise this. Only you can't stand for the only bar that criminal convictions is for police commissioner roles. That's the only bar. So if it's a police commissioner role, yeah, you can't have any criminal convictions whatsoever, right? But anything else, it don't matter. It don't, and that's international law, and it's the law of this land. And one of the reasons, and I'm just going to explain this to everyone, one of the reasons why they allowed convicted prisoners to stand for election was because sometime in the old days, before they had, well, no, it don't work now, but, you know, if there was an injustice and the local community knew it was an injustice and someone had been wrongly convicted, the person could stand as an MP, yeah, and then the people would elect him or her. And it was a way of saying, giving that person a voice in Parliament. So then people realised, hang on, I think we've the community's saying this is wrong. They've elected him as an MP or her as an MP. So that's why, one of the reasons why that happened. And it was also, there was other reasons for it. And I just want to explain it to you. That, if you're being politically persecuted, one of the easiest ways to stop you from standing from election is if you tell the local Bobby or the local wherever it is, and if you only got to look at that Bellyfield geezer, right? One of the easiest ways to disbar you, if they had that in place, would be a criminal conviction. So if I wanted to stand tomorrow and they said, well, we're going to disbar anyone who's ever had any criminal convictions whatsoever, the problem you'll get is that the establishment and the state will then start using the police to nick you, get you convicted, and you can never stand for Parliament. That's why it is not a bar, and it never will be in this country. The only position in this country that you have to be squeaky clean, believe it or not, and I don't know where Boris Johnson got in as Mayor of London because he's got drink driving, is the police commissioner. So don't worry about anything else. And so if you want to stand in Wiltshire for the police commissioner, you have to have a completely clean sheet. We don't care how old you are, what you are, anything. Just stick your name up to Robin. Don't pull out. And then if they announce it, we're going to do it. And don't forget that Batley and Spen is going to be a major one for us, and we need as much help as possible, and we need to get into that area and start delivering leaflets as soon as possible. So there you go, Sheila. You've just heard my party political broadcast for the English Democrats.
I get lost a lot in Wiltshire.
You get what?
Lost a lot.
You get lost a lot?
Yeah, went down to Avery one day with my daughter and we passed the pub 3 times.
Did you?
Yeah, and I said to Kate, I think we've been past this pub. She said, yeah, I think we have. Because your Google maps disappeared on and off because there's not enough towers.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to just make sure that... what it is when that happens to you, it normally means that the pub is calling you.
Yeah. I think you must be fine, Kate, not me.
Well, that's my excuse anyway. And I come from an era when, you know, if someone pulled up and asked you directions, you used to say, down there, turn left at the Dog and Duck, keep going,
Yeah.
and then turn right at the White Hart. Keep going for about another 3 miles, and you see a really big boozer called the Red Lion. Turn left there, and then you used to say, I'll tell you what, mate, give us a lift and I'll show you, but we got to stop on every pub on the way. And normally you get a good Englishman that'd say, yeah, all right then.
And then never reach your destination at all that day.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yep. It is all good fun. Right. Okay, well, thank you for calling in.
And thanks for everything, as usual. Much appreciated.
No worries. Good.
Yeah, it's fantastic to see, you know, what's going on and see it all developing. It's coming along nicely.
Yep, it is indeed. So be lucky, my friend. Keep your chin up down there, and keep pushing out the English Democrats, especially around that area, because I love that area.
Yeah. I live on the main road, so if I could get some stuff, I could put it in the garden.
Yep, with some flags.
People probably feel it. Like I have stuff for leaving the EU on my car, and people would peel it off and stick it on the windscreen and stuff.
All right.
Yeah, didn't make no difference though, did it?
No. We whatever happens, we think we're out of that. We just got to get out of the rest of it now.
Well, yeah, I can't have France come out next because I've got a bet on at Billing Hill.
All right.
And France is not the bet, so can't have France come out next.
Yeah.
That's time to make about £17 out of this bet.
£17.
Yeah, if the right country comes out, I've got 3 countries on this bet.
Yeah.
2 years ago, but it can't be France because I've got this huge winnings of £17 in the offing.
Yeah, let me tell you something. A win's a win.
Yeah.
All right then.
Yeah. Sometimes you're so broke, it just buys you some bread and milk, doesn't it?
No, I agree entirely. Let me tell you something. I've been down to me last pound, and something's happened, and all of a sudden you got money again. So I know what it's like, and I know what it's like to be piss poor. I know what it's like to have a few quid. You just have to keep going.
Yeah, good. That's it. Gotta
Never surrender.
During the war. You've not got to let it bother you now.
That's it. We'll just crack on. All right then.
All right.
I'm gonna have to shoot. Thank you.
Absolutely, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Oh, she's lovely. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Don't forget to turn it down in the background.
Yeah, all down. It's the English blacksmith here.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very well. I'm looking forward to be reshoed.
Yeah. You know, well, I'm just really ringing to say, you know, I think you're doing a fantastic job, and I'm actually just round the corner from your last caller there.
All right.
In Devon.
Yeah.
And I think you're doing a fantastic job, and a couple of, really just to recount on a couple of things that the caller who was speaking about the travelling community, and I couldn't agree more with him, and also with the bikers, all those sort of people, you know, those fundamentally earthy people who genuinely, I'm sure, you know, I know for a fact because I've had dealings with both groups.
Yeah.
And they're actually, all right, you always get the odd rogue one in every group, but they fundamentally, as a people and a groups, they are the most genuine, down-to-earth, earthy people that you could get. And I'm sure, you know, that the Constitution is the only way forward. I'm sure it is.
You're, let me tell you something. I'm never going to disagree with that one. But so let me just say this to you as well. There would be no greater sight than the traveller community riding up Pall Mall on their horses with the English flag saying we're standing with the English people, and no greater sight than the iron horses, the motorcycles with the English flags riding up around there and saying we stand for England. And people have to realise that the biker community are known as 1%ers. What that means is they're the 1% that are not interested in your, laws, regulations and all that, yeah? So when they say 1%ers, they're very similar in their outlook to travellers and to me, and that is the state should leave us alone. We'll get on and make our own money, and we'll do what we got to do. Leave us alone and we'll leave you alone. That's the way it should be.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I mean, I've got to say that 90% of my friends are from both communities, and they have absolutely stood by me, and I stand by them.
Yeah.
But also, what a couple of things that I think that really important is if we can persuade a few more of the veterans and the ex-servicemen to come onto our side, and also what gave me great heart was at the protest the other day, the petition for these servicemen that are being so badly wronged by the British.
Yeah.
I heard an ex-serviceman there speaking out, and he mentioned the Constitution.
Yeah.
And if only that could be pushed through the ranks of these people, because I have absolutely, these people are marvellous people. They are fantastic people.
I agree.
And if we could, it's not the ordinary bloke backs a serviceman to the hilt. I mean, my father served. He served in the Second World War, and believe you me, he fought against what was going on now. What's going on now, he fought against.
I agree.
Right? My mother, she actually had to run from that situation. She had to get out to save her life.
Yeah.
Right? So, believe you me, I am fully aware of what's going on, and it terrifies me. And the people that we need are these sort of people on our sides.
Mm.
Listen,
I absolutely agree with you. And if there's many bikers or biker groups out there listening, they should. If I don't talk about political affiliation. I always say I'm not left or right. I'm about the rule of law, and the rule of law means to me that the state backs off and leaves us alone. And as long as they do that, there ain't going to be a problem. But all the time they're doing what they're doing, and I agree with what you just said, we are living currently in a fascist society. And the only way we're going to get out of this is if we stand up and change it.
I totally agree. I mean, and I think that it's surprising. These sort of people, these groups, these genuinely, they are the fundamental backbone.
Yeah.
They really are the fundamental backbone. I mean, or the trade that I've worked in. I've watched every trade that I've worked in. I started as a smith. I went then from smithing, because they shut the pits, into the quarrying industry. I watched into the heavy engineering side of the quarry industry. I watched that taken away from us here, sold out to a French company, and everything was shut down, moved abroad. I went from that into heavy transport. I watched all the big heavy quarrying and construction side of things shut down and moved away.
Yep.
So I've watched every industry around me pulled apart.
Yep.
And now, in the end, that forced me to go out on my own.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say much more about it because it'd be boring people. But through a twist of events, I actually ended up caring for my mother. So she's passed on now. But it actually forced me to get out of business. And I think at the moment that forced me. That was a godsend because my sympathies to anybody who's in business, at this moment in time when you've got the state against you, it's hard work.
Yeah, it is. And we just have to keep. But again, it goes back to never surrender, and
never surrender.
And the English have got that running through their veins. That's why they don't like us talking about Anglo-Saxons, because we have got freedom running through our veins. And when we finally do say, fuck you, we've had enough, they will know all about it, because when it goes, they ain't going to be able to stop it. They will not be able to stop it.
I saw it with the miners, mate, and it works two ways.
Yep.
You either get the kind that when they've had everything taken, they've had their family taken, their house taken, their income taken.
Yeah.
You either get the kind that roll over in the gutter and say that's it, or you get the kind that say, right, I'm going to take as many of the bastards with me as I can.
Exactly right. And let me just say this to you. I'm going to give everyone an example now. And if John Hurst was here, God bless him, he's now passed. Let me tell you something. He was in them riots. And I can tell you now, of someone who has been in a full-scale riot, right? The difference between the riots in the 80s, the miners' riots, the printers' riots, and the riots where we all stood up against the system, including against the poll tax, right? The difference then is you had police officers that were 6'6", built like brick shithouses and could have a fight. Now what you got is a load of namby-pambies. Most of them are women, right? And they ain't going to be able to stand up against the people when the people snap. Because them women are going to run and the men are going to say, shit, what are we going to do now? Because the men, the police officers, are all standing up and getting exhausted because they've got to protect the women in their ranks. I don't care what anyone says out there. When you go into a riot situation, women ain't worth jack shit. You want 6'6" geezers that can have a fight. And they haven't got that anymore. They've got 120,000 people out there, right? And they ain't the army they think they are.
But isn't it funny? I don't know whether you've noticed, but isn't it funny when you see the women actually carrying on now? I'm talking about police officers.
Yeah.
When they're throwing their weight about.
Yeah.
Somehow there's a real nasty, vindictive streak in them.
Yep.
Have you noticed that?
I have noticed that. And let me tell you something else. There's somewhere else I noticed that, and I'm going to be honest with you, that was in prison. There was a couple of them that was really nasty on the wings. They was in a men's jail. They was in a Cat A prison with Category A prisoners, and two of them women eventually got took off the wing because the prisoners said, let me tell you something, you either get them off or we'll take them off. What do you want to do? And the governor of the Nick said, we'll take them out. And we know from friendly men prison officers, that it had been raised at senior level. For some reason, they had something about having a go at men constantly, right? And they were removed from the wing. And it was because, I'm not suggesting myself, I'm suggesting others, that they was highly dangerous people that they was messing about with. And they said, if you keep winding these people up, sooner or later, one of them's going to go for you. And when you're talking about people that are coming back from court and getting 56 years imprisonment, then they're not...
They've got a lot to lose.
No, they ain't. And that's the thing. You're getting to a point now where people are saying we've had enough. So eventually these people are going to... I can see this, and it's one of the things I said to Robin today. I don't want this. But when they shut you down at every, like Judicial Review, I'm just giving you an example. Judicial Review used to be a barometer of how pissed off people were. So all of a sudden they'd get a big list and a big pile of these judicial reviews on their desks, right? In the High Court. And they'd say, listen, these are all coming through under a certain law. The people are getting pissed off. What happened? They repealed a fucking law. And they diffused it. What do they do now? Now you can't have judicial review. Now they won't fund judicial review. Now they're doing everything to stop you from saying, we're not having this. And when you remove that barometer, that's when you can't feel the temperature of the people. That's what's coming at them.
Oh, I totally agree. Do you know what? I've had this feeling once before, and that was I was a young apprentice at the time, and that was just before the miners. And I tell you what, you can feel it in the air now.
Yeah, no, exactly that.
Very, very uncomfortable feeling in the air. And the last thing I want is violence. You know, but don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I ain't going to sit down under them. No way. No,
let me tell you something. Like many callers and the person who called in earlier and many other people, I know, and I speak to people, I leave my phone in this house, and I've said it, it's funny sometimes, some people ring me up and say, I've been ringing you all day, where you been? I've said, I've been out. Why didn't you take your phone out? Because I left it in the toilet. What they say to me is, if they know I've left it in the toilet, they know I'm out on a meeting that I don't want, let's say, MI5, MI6, knowing who I'm talking to and what I'm talking about. So the phone stays in the toilet, and if anyone says anything, I'll say, listen, on that day, you can check, my phone was in the house all day, and if you want to pinpoint it, it was in the toilet. Right, and that's the type of thing that people are out there now. Many people are doing. Once you know they're tracking you with your mobile phones, what do? You leave your mobile phone indoors. And this is the key element, right? 30, 40 years ago, police officers and the military were trained in surveillance. They were proper, and you had criminals that were what's known as surveillance aware, right? So they was a lot more difficult to go and follow. And they've become lazy with surveillance. They are using more and more, they're using satellites, they're using tracking systems on phones, they'll stick something on your car or whatever it is. They ain't tracking like they used to track. And the problem is there's too many old school out there can do it the old way.
Yeah.
And they ain't getting it.
I couldn't agree. I'll tell you what, it was, again, I go back to my apprenticeship days, with all the technology that's come in, do you know what? It's funny how many times you resort back to the old ways.
Yeah.
The old ways always, all right, I know technology's different and it's advanced more, but we neglect the old ways at our peril. Yeah,
no, I agree. And again, I mean, we can even go back to old remedies,
oh, totally. I'm with you. I'm all with you. I mean, I think what you're doing is a fantastic job, and the more that people can be awakened to what poison they're putting into us, is. Oh, we tried. We tried your super goopy concoction today.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. But it didn't quite come out the colour that yours did, I must admit.
I
think we must have used the wrong apples or something. But
did you put blueberries in yours?
Oh, yes, we did.
Well, I didn't have blueberries in mine, only because I ain't got none. So that's why mine was green. But if I'd put blueberries in it, it would have been blue.
Never mind, mate. We got it down us anyway. So.
Oh, right. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. No, all power to you, mate. And like I say, we're right behind you. We got a few issues of our own here, but we're right behind you, mate. And I mean, I pray to God that this can be resolved peacefully, but sort of in my heart of hearts, I'm beginning to wonder now.
Yeah, no, I agree. And again, it's not for the want of trying. So,
No.
I mean, the thing is, if these people want to go up against the English, full on, I think eventually we'll have a problem, and we just have to wait and see what happens. But anyway, thank you for calling in.
All strength to you, mate. Keep up the good work, and we're right behind you.
I will do. Well done. Be lucky.
Take care.
And you.
Bye.
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 Right. Let's have a look at this. You still hearing me out there? Right, I'm going to now, it's 5 to 11, right, so I am now going to close my Skype. So I've closed my Skype. So those of you who've been trying to get through, I apologise. Don't worry, we'll do it again. Because I'm going to have to sort my life out here and start chilling out. But I'll do... So to finish this off, are there any big demos tomorrow that you want me to go and video or be at or take me motorbike to or any of them things? 5v5. Thank you very much for that. Ray Edmonds, it's still working, yeah? I don't know what's gone on with this camera, but I'll work it out later. Joe McGough, 5v5, London. Let's have a look and see what we can do. Hit the DD like button, thumbs up for the channel. Carol Murray, thank you for that. Extra time. What's extra time? London. What, you think there's a big one in London? Well, where is he? 76 is still out there. Where is he? Let me see if I can see him. I bet he ain't out there no more. Look. He's always a bit slippery, him. He slips off. Let me have a look. I've got to go and give a power supply back to someone and all. Let's have a look and see if he's on there. Right, no doubt I'll be out and about tomorrow and doing something. Let's have a look. Let's go and have a look. Good night, all. Right, so you've got good night, LDD. Big crowds at the marches all over the world tomorrow. Boris, the dictator of the British Communist State. Alan B, absolutely. Bob Scott, London, Manchester, Birmingham, Bristol, Edinburgh, Hull, Glastonbury, Canterbury, Cornwall, Norwich, Eastbourne, Newcastle. I love Newcastle. Plymouth, Southampton, Sheffield, Cardiff, Northern Ireland, and worldwide. That's what I want to hear. People are rising up. The White... What's that? The White Rose? Where's that then? The White Rose.uk worldwide free. I'll have to go and see if I can click on that. Let's have a look and see if that's come up. Graham, another excellent show. Thank you very much for that. Glastonbury, arrive on a small rug. That's funny. Graham, another excellent show. Thank you very much. Nice one, Bob. I'm going to go and have a look at see how many other places there are. Southampton meeting. London will be massive. All right, well, I'm going to go to London then. I'll have to see if I can meet up with someone. I'll be on my motorbike. I might see if I can get about up there. Be free, spread the word. Militias need forming and communications offline should be set up to all countries and practices gathering English know they're being attacked. Yorkshire is the White Rose. It is indeed. Joe McGough, DD, can you call me a taxi? You're pissed. Right, I'll call you a taxi, my old son. You're a taxi. Right, Carlo, Geordies. Top night, thanks. Good night. God bless. God bless everyone. God bless all the callers as well. I know that some people get a bit nervous about calling. Let me tell you something. It's just me. I'm a normal geezer, right? Just ring in, talk to me. You've watched the show for years. All you got to do is ring in. So, again, I'm off. Be lucky. God bless everybody. God bless England. God bless the United States of America. Because us, England, we give common law jurisdiction to some of the greatest countries in the world, including the United States of America. And then people are with us. We're with them, and we've got to get the bikers and the communities and everything raising the English flag. Let's terrify the British. That's it. Be lucky. I'm off. Tiddly poo. Au revoir. And don't forget what I believe in. The Constitution is the solution. Thank you for being and coming in and being patrons of the Trump and Dragon. So it's a good night from President Trump, and it's a good night from me. Au revoir.